Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Co-optional Podcast. What a fantastic opening track there in the pre-show. That is Chivalry Begins by Big Giant Circles, which was actually part of a Cure for Cancer album, if I recall correctly, remix of Final Fantasy Adventures. Welcome to the Co-optional Podcast. We occasionally talk about video games. Our special guest today is Angry Joe. Welcome to the show.
Yay!
Where? Hey guys, what's up? I've had 30 minutes of sleep, so I'm gonna be extra.
Wow.
I wish I could be as perky as that. What exactly did you take to make that happen?
I've got Kickstart from but it's really actually just goji berries.
Goji, what?
Are those
Goji
chocolate
berries.
covered goji berries? Because
These
they're
are the
delicious.
most delicious fucking things in the world,
No.
Jesse.
They also have the what are the other ones? They have blueberries, chocolate covered blueberries. They have chocolate covered icy.
Kai? Is it a kai?
Yes.
Kasi?
Okay.
Or whatever it is, they have that. That company,
Oh,
I think I single-handedly fund them because those are delicious.
delicious. So that's what's going on with me, eating goji berries to stay awake for you guys. That's how hardcore I am.
Goji
appreciate
berries,
you, Joe.
motherfucker. Welcome to the show. The only time you will ever hear that phrase.
It
What can
sounds
I
made
say?
up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it funnily enough does, but there you go. Goji
Now I'm
berries.
curious though. Like now I feel like I gotta go try some goji
No,
berries.
please try it. You know where I
What do
got
they
these?
taste like, exactly?
I got these at Office Max, of all places. I'm
What?
not joking.
It's
I
for
had
office
this at a
food.
party once, and I was like, oh my god, I must have them. I haven't been able to find them. I was at Office Max buying a USB extension cable
Naturally.
because my recorder broke. I had to put my TV back there. And I found these! Fucking goji berries! Gabba juju pee pee. Sounds made up. I'm
It
done.
does.
Just kind of stand there staring at them for far too long. Don't even realize how much time has
I'm not
passed.
saying I'm looking up all the different types of berries covered in chocolate that company makes, but I am. I'm looking it
Alright.
up right now.
I want to
How
know
many?
if there's
What's
a
the
more
final count?
obscure berry than
Three.
goji's, so type it into the comments right now.
I bet there is. I'm going to
They
go
only
with
make
yes.
three. They only make three different types. It's a shame.
What are they?
There are only 3 kinds of berries in the world.
That's it. There's actually a billboard when you drive down the 90 here in LA that is trying to get kids to eat more fruits and vegetables, and it literally says, "Can you name 7 different types of berries?" And every time I drive past it, I'm like, "All right, strawberry, blueberry." Like rattling off.
It's
berries.
pretty hard. Like, I can't come up with that many 7
Then
berries.
you're like boysenberry, and like you start to think, I'm
Marion
like,
Berry.
that is a
That's
mare.
real? What?
Marion
No.
Berry was a mare, not a berry.
Mary Berry.
What?
He was
I'm
a
not
Washington,
familiar. I'm not
DC
familiar
mayor.
with that. I'm familiar with Mike and Ike, but I think they broke up or something. So
No,
There
they're
was
back together. I saw that
a
billboard,
huge
too.
divorce settlement there. What can I say?
Marion Berry. Shut
It's
up.
a blackberry. It's right here. Type it
Marion
in, you
Berry
dummy.
is not a blackberry. Blackberries are blackberries. Jesus Christ.
He has a point. Blackberries are blackberries.
and schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
I hate you.
There's no
Hate
such
you
thing
so
as a
much.
snoozeberry, Joe.
Yes, there
Jesse.
is.
That was my Veruca salt.
Never ruined my
Yes.
childhood.
Daddy, I want it now.
Not too
That
bad.
is the best movie of all time, and not the
It
piece
is.
of shit,
It is.
Johnny Depp piece of shit movie.
Yeah, don't get me
Wow.
started.
That is
Lots
awesome.
of feelings. Lots of feelings all up in here.
Dodger, welcome to the show.
Do we talk
Hi.
about games still on this? co-op?
Sometimes.
Not very often.
Occasionally. Only
Occasionally.
occasionally
That
do we
was
talk about video games. It has been known to happen. Dodger, what's been going on with you?
Not a whole lot. I finally have pots and pans like an adult, so I was able to
an
cook.
upgrade, certainly.
I know. I finally got sugar cubes for my coffee. Look, things are going up. Everything's coming up Dodger right now.
Yeah. Grow up, Joe!
Wow, Joe. I've been trying to talk about my life, Joe.
God, I want to hear about Dodger's pots and pans. Get on with it.
Yeah. Joe, gosh.
So, Dodger, tell me about your pot.
And while you look at my ugly mug.
So
Yeah, see?
That's kind of horrifying.
Everybody do high.
Can we not? Look, I will
wanna see a
turn on the
hyper-close-
Baker Cat Defender if need
See
be.
a hyper close up
no
of
Baker
John
Cat.
of TB, please.
No,
Yeah, if we can-
nobody wants to see that. I
Yes.
shaved 3 minutes before the show, and like, I don't have time to put on shaving cream, and I don't have time for the Mach 3.
Blood,
I just
blood
take
everywhere.
I just took the guard off the trimmer, like, okay, trimmer, this is gonna be the day. Do not cut my face. Just like as quickly as I could.
No Sleep Joe is crazy as shit.
Can we,
Yeah.
Joe, go back to bed. You're not contributing anything of value here.
You're not talking about anything.
He has a fair point. Jesse, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. How are you? That was amazing. That was the best retort I've ever heard. Bravo, Joe.
Reality is the best resource for the most
Right?
part.
You know what? I
Man.
can let Little Joe take over this podcast.
Oh. Hey, little Joe.
Oh, that guy. Little Joe kind of looks like Hitler.
Hey, you motherfucker! No, Hitler would be.
Oh, that's right. It's a little small. Well, close enough.
I'm sorry, Jesse. What you been up to, dude?
Oh, man.
The Jeff Dunham of gaming.
Setting up for this wonderful Secret of Mana live stream on Friday. You should all go.
Woo! I'll be
And
there.
on twitch.tv/Shabuzi. That's my shamelessness for right now. Nothing,
Yeah.
just a lot of working, trying to get stuff done.
We do that from time to time, don't we?
Really excited that today I thought for a brief moment that we would all get to talk about the Witcher 3 cinematic, but that doesn't come out.
Yeah.
Not out yet.
That doesn't come out for
come
another
out.
22 hours, which is sad. But by the time you see this, it'll be up. You want to go to, what the hell's the website? TheWitcher.com/killing monsters. Dude, this trailer is they got like some guy who's like award-winning to make this thing. It's gorgeous.
I'm looking forward to that. Certainly, anything they do with cinematics is usually phenomenal. So yeah, that should be pretty good.
And I just want to start off with a I called it and a screw you. I feel like this is gonna be. I'm gonna make this a segment.
All right.
I called it a new World of Warcraft expansion. If you followed that little timeline they made like in 2004 and released at the first BlizzCon, that was right on the money the entire time. Next expansion is called The Deep Below, or at least they just trademarked it. The Dark Below, sorry. They just trademarked it. That is talking about Ajara and all the islands and stuff. So, like, Joe is Dark Belowing. Also, the squid in one of the dungeons was like the minion of the Dark Below. So that's a thing. So that is going to happen. And a lot of people are like, maybe it's Diablo 3. Look, no one gives a shit about Diablo 3. No one does. I don't.
Although they will eventually release an expansion for that game, one would think, because they're like money.
But it's not the Dark Below. This is Ajara. This is, if you remember that big timeline, the timeline was it showed like all the different like level caps and everything for all the different things. And the
Yeah, I
one
remember
thing
that.
missing that they skipped over was the island expansion,
Yeah.
Joe. And the island expansion is what this is going to be. So it's going to have like all the different island places, and then
Is there a new race, or is it gonna be like squids and like?
I hope that
I
game
don't
needs
know if-
squid people. That
I
game
don't know if
needs
that's
a
how they
squid
sound,
race.
but
They have a
Yes.
squid race. It's called Draenei.
oh,
Yeah, no, those are space orcs with squid faces.
Base orcs.
And then a FU to the good folks at EA Origin. Your software is garbage. I
Oh
hope you-
yes,
Yeah,
Get Netflix.
can we talk about this?
yes. By all
Yeah.
means, just unload.
EA Origin.
yeah, EA Origin fucking sucks. I think we can all agree.
You're the worst because in order to play your games, you have to have this shitty thing. And it's unbearable because in order to play with friends, you have to have your service, which works, but doesn't. So, Dodger, can you try to explain what happened last night? Because this just goes to say how shitty this is.
Okay, so Jesse and I were like, hey, let's record some Dead Space. So we logged in, we opened up our Origins, and then we loaded up the game, we went into co-op, and the second you try to connect with the other person, it's like, Origin is unavailable. Please go into Origin and turn on in-game Origin. And we were like, okay. So we log out, we get back into Origin, we look in our settings, it's on. Origin in-game is already on, we already have it all set up. We were like, well, that's weird. So then apparently what the fact said was to restart our computers. So we were like, all right, I guess we'll restart, but I don't know why this is happening to both of us at the same time. So we both restart, we both come back on, we try it again, still not working. And apparently there was an update that happened 2 weeks ago that has caused no one to be able to play multiplayer for the last 2 weeks. They still have not fixed it.
And it's across multiple games. I went on the forums. Mass Effect 3, people are having issue. People are having trouble with some of the sports games they have on there. FIFA was a big one. And a lot of people are like, I just want to play with friends. I just want to play online. And it's like, you can't.
I just want to play a game.
And so apparently, here's the problem is so big, you cannot get to the overlay screen, like the Shift F1, but you also can't Alt-Tab out of the game. Like, the function doesn't exist in the game. And it's been 2 weeks, and they're like, we're looking into the difficulties here, and we'll get back to you. The last time they talked about it was on the 8th. And they still have no...
That sounds pretty standard, especially for EA support. They're generally really bad. Speaking of EA, guess who just got their closed alpha key for Command & Conquer? Yeah. Guess who can't log in to redeem it? Yeah.
Yay!
Damn it!
That
was
the weird thing, is like we could get onto Origin, but like the Origin within the game wouldn't work. And I don't understand what the problem is.
Use your Origin client to instantly start playing the new Command & Conquer. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is not good. Well, I guess I'll put that on the list for next month.
You still can't play your own games on Origin. This has been a problem that's been happening since 2011, okay? Yeah. And they still haven't fixed this kind of shit. It's really bad. And all these problems are personified because your main competitor, Steam, really has their shit together right now.
They do now.
You should have fucking thought about, you know, that when you release your service. You better make sure everything is airtight when you're going up against Steam.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's not like EA doesn't have the money to do that either. The problem is they
got the money to do it.
They haven't really had the time.
They don't give a fuck.
Steam sucked at launch. It was terrible.
EA is so big and gargantuan. I know for a fact, like having talked to people and seen shit, they don't know what one end of the company is doing.
That doesn't surprise me. It's monolithic.
When one part of the company wants to do one thing, like E3 was a great example. One part of the company, I'm not even gonna name names in this thing, but everyone knows what I'm talking about here.
It is.
One part of the company that I was there with was like, hey, no, we want to do this, and we're gonna get like exclusive looks. And the other part that was hosting the stuff was like, no one told us, so no, you're not getting in. And it was watching two people from the same company fight with each other over something that had been resolved weeks ago. Jesus. And they just didn't know because no one told anybody. That's the kind of crap that happened. God,
to be fair, Steam was like the pioneer. They were one of the first. So obviously they were making a shitload, tons of mistakes. They were getting pushbacks from gamers. So, you know, but what I'm saying is that now that Steam is out and
Origin had something to look at in order to not suck, and yet they sucked anyway, is what you're basically saying. I mean, that wouldn't be the only thing that's wrong with it either. Like the guys, if I recall correctly, the people that were playing Darkspawn. Still, like, there can't be that many of them, but there were people still playing Darkspawn, and they couldn't even fucking play. It was so broken, and they just didn't fix it forever. And as someone that actually enjoyed Darkspawn launch, that really ticks me off. Because that was definitely a title that EA sent out to die, as far as I'm concerned. They did not back that the way that it was supposed to be. And if they had, it might have done better. Because it was good. It was a good game. I like that. It was a good game. But yeah, Origin being a piece of shit is certainly not news. Let's be honest.
True.
And people
we're just angry.
Yeah.
The forums are so great.
Mad as hell. You're not going to take it anymore. I get it.
They're like, hey, help us come up with like some changes and fixes, and literally everything that's added there is either just one response, like we're looking into that, or like, can you please put this someplace else, like another part of the forum, because it doesn't relate to here. Like, yes, it definitely does.
If it's in text support form, it probably does. Your shit doesn't work is a valid criticism.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my.
I don't know if they have it because I haven't checked fucking Origin. I try to stay away as much as I can, but when I'm forced to, you know, PlanetSide 2 has this system where they post like what they want to add to the game. Yeah, the roadmap. That's what Origin needs. If it doesn't have it already, if it does, I apologize. But if it doesn't,
communication, isn't it? You know. It just needs
some transparency so that if you ain't doing shit, it's really apparent that you haven't done shit for months, you know?
Yeah, that's very, very true. Oh, my. It needs that level of transparency, and it needs to be just like, yeah, we're looking into that isn't a good enough answer, right? We need to say, right, we're going to implement these changes and these fixes. This is the kind of timeline that we're shooting for here, and then you can actually track that, and you can make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. On a happier note, by the way, I would like to welcome our new subscribers. A lot of people have been subscribing since last week to the channel. Just in the last 5 minutes, Resignation X Speaks just subscribed, so welcome to you. And we also have a fellow by Matt the Busted Couch. That's a very unfortunate situation to be in, you know. But you managed to subscribe to the channel anyway, despite being
Subscribe to what?
Subscribe to the Twitch channel, which is premium $5 a month. It gets you chat and gets you ad-free. Gets you all sorts of great stuff. Access, of course, to the podcast VODs 2 days early and all that good stuff. But yeah, welcome, guys. It's very much appreciated. All of those who subscribed over the last week, you are fantastic. Thank you very much for your support. Very, very cool.
Wow.
All right, shall we talk about what we've been playing this week? Obviously, it's not going to be Dead Space because you couldn't play that, but...
Dead Space, is it?
That's Space.
Space, I like that.
The third.
That sounds like some delicious soup.
The third. Dead Space, the third.
Let's talk about games we've managed to play that aren't under embargo. It's like the games I want to talk about, I can't speak about for at least another fucking 8 hours.
Saints Row 4.
Oh, fuck. I can't talk about Saints Row 4.
I think we both have plenty to say, but we can't say.
We can't talk about Saints Row 4 because that's embargoed. We can't talk about Shadow Warrior because that's embargoed till tomorrow. Fuck it.
TB, you said you really wanted to talk about Spelunky and all of your deep feels, your deep Spelunky
I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna say one thing about Shadow Warrior. I'm gonna be a first world anarchist and slightly break that embargo by saying, holy shit! And that's all I'm gonna say.
Was it a good holy shit or a bad holy shit?
I'm gonna leave that entirely up to you to figure out.
I'll follow your example and I'll do these.
Can I talk about how Spelunky is an asshole and doesn't respect anybody?
Please do. Please do.
Fuck Spelunky. Alright, I'm just gonna get right out there and say it. This is not the game for me. It has been made abundantly clear from the very, very start. And let me tell you why, yeah? This game is an asshole and doesn't respect your time. At all. Like, some games respect your time. Some games are challenging and can still respect your time. Dark Souls is a great example of a game that's challenging and respects your time, right? It's really, really fantastic to actually play that game. You die, alright, you got a shot at getting your souls back. If you can make it back to where you got to without dying, you get your souls back. If you don't, you don't get them back. You get a chance to learn, yeah? You learn attack patterns, you learn how to beat various bosses. Spelunky, you don't get to do any of that. Because when you die in Spelunky, all of your progress is wiped. That's it. You are done. You are absolutely done. Your character's perma-dead.
Have you only played it solo?
Yes. It's only local co-op. It doesn't have online mode, so...
Yeah. I think Spelunky's one of those games that's way more fun when there are multiple people.
It sounds it.
I can't imagine that game being fun by myself.
No, it sounds it. Because on my own, it is just fucking stupid. Like, it is a game, it throws you in. I get the idea of exploration, I get the idea of learning, and I get the idea of some people really love the adrenaline rush of knowing that each step could kind of be their last, right? I get that. I really do. I can see. But fuck that. Because the levels are randomly generated, so you don't even get to go back to the same level to try it again, having learned from your mistakes.
That's what I thought you were talking about. Yeah, every time you die, it's randomly generated. So
you don't get to learn from your mistakes. You learn, basically the way to do it is you learn the components of the level of what could be there. Like, oh, this could do this, and maybe this appears in this level, maybe it doesn't. I think the furthest I got like down 4 floors. I was like, alright, this is kind of going well. I saw the idol, went to pick it up, instantly killed by a boulder. Like, out of nowhere. Boulder, bang! And it was at that point that I'm like, Alt F4, fuck this game, it does not respect my time at all. It is a game for masochists. It really is. It's a game for people to have a shitload of time and want to bash their head against some kind of level of challenge. And if there weren't challenging games already on the market, I can certainly see, like, where this game would have a lot of success. Currently, it's having a lot of success. People love it. But it's not for me. I want to play a challenging game in single player. I either play Dark Souls or I go and play Dota. Yeah? Dota is a fucking consistently challenging game all the time that will challenge you to learn from your mistakes all the time. But when I die in Dota, it doesn't put me in a different map. Like, it lets me respawn.
It seems like you're complaining because you think the kills are cheap. So the kills are cheap kills in Spelunky.
Well, they kind of are. Like, for the most part. The problem is, like, people are going to argue they aren't cheap kills because you can learn to avoid them. Yes, but the process of learning to avoid them is a masochistic waste of time. It's like, no! I don't have either the time or the inclination to bother with this.
Yeah.
You know, that whole boulder thing exemplifies the entire thing. How could I have possibly known that a boulder was about to kill me? It wasn't on the screen. I went to the idol and instantly bang. Like, dead.
I feel like this is one of those perception things that I agree with you on. I hate those types of games, but I feel like there are a lot of people who are like, that sounds
amazing.
The best
game.
game.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love games
I think
like
maybe
that,
10 years ago, I would have been into that kind of thing. And I would have said, wow, this is incredible. Because I used to play legitimate roguelikes, not this roguelite bullshit like Spelunky, which is not a real roguelike. I used to play legitimate roguelikes where, yes, you had perma-character death. You would go into randomly generated levels, and suddenly maybe there's a Balrog there. Legitimately. And maybe he murders you. Or maybe there's not. And
how is it any different from what you just described to me, sir?
It's not, but 10 years ago I was okay with that. That and the fact that those games were turn-based and gave you, like, a lot of time to think about it. Spelunky as a platformer in real time, it is not that, yeah? It really isn't. So
okay, how much is it? Because now I'm interested.
Oh, feel free. I think it's $10 or $15.
All right.
I can definitely see why people would love Spelunky. I really can. I can understand. There's this kind of daily challenge thing going on where everyone's competing to get the furthest. Wow, you know, great system. The randomly generated levels are really appealing to a lot of people, but they're not for me. This game is not for me. I hate it more than I hate Cloudberry Kingdom, and that's saying a lot. I think I actually hate it more than I hate I Want to Be the Guy. Because I Want to Be the Guy's cheap, but at least it doesn't change its level every fucking time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I Want to Be the Guy is like... Well, I mean...
Well, I Want to Be the Guy was
like
designed to be a masochistic
game.
waste of time. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah. It's a fucking awful game. But at least it doesn't change every time.
True.
God.
I seriously... Like, just promise me that just once you'll try playing it local co-op.
Yeah, of course. We'll go to Seattle. We'll play, like, 4-player local co-op, and it'll probably be hilarious fun. On my own, No. It's like drinking yourself to death on your own. Drinking yourself to death is way more fun with friends. And
yeah. I think the second that you get the opportunity to die and be a ghost and blow Jesse into spikes, you're going to be so jazzed. Like, that's going to be the best feeling.
What did I do to deserve that? I haven't even played the game yet.
Look, I don't want to be blown into spikes. Yeah, right? Look.
That's just mean.
TB and I are just going to die right off the bat. And then we're gonna ruin your life.
Yeah,
that's the new plan.
Like a wonderful thing to do.
Brought to you by Goji Berries.
Yeah, but
brought to you by Goji Berries. Joe's a sellout promoting Goji Berries.
These pseudo-healthy snacks.
You know what?
Yeah, by Brookside.
Oh my! But yes,
Brookside.
Don't even. Spelunky is not for me and never will be, and nothing will convince me otherwise. And eventually I might make a video that says that, and everyone on the internet will hate me for it. So there you go. I hate Spelunky. Fuck that game.
Ooh, they have dark chocolate pomegranate. I bet that's good.
Ooh.
It's probably a boulder. It's just waiting for you. Like
it's probably a boulder. That's true.
It's legitimately a boulder. It's just going to kill you outright.
As long as I get blown into spikes, I'll be okay, ladies.
He doesn't mind the spikes as long as the blowing happens. Oh, Jesus.
You can only feel so many sensations at one time.
Sorry.
Human brain.
I'm sorry.
Human brain, that's science. That's science.
Sorry, guys.
Don't apologize.
I let him into that.
Don't apologize for me.
It's my
I know
fault.
what I said. I'll have to deal with my mother later.
No,
like,
Jesse isn't irresponsible for anything he does. He's like... What's the term? There's a legal term for people that aren't responsible for what they do. Jesse's that. No, not shameless.
That sounds very legal.
Judge, I'm afraid, Your Honor, he was rather shameless, I must say. I must acquit. No.
I do think that's an accurate description of Jesse. I really do. Shameless. Yeah, I can see that.
Pac-Man, you should play him. He still exists.
Brought to you by Jesse Cox.
Jesse?
See?
And Goji Berries.
Man-child is not, in fact, a legitimate legal term. I'm sorry.
And Goji Berries. We're like the Colbert Report now.
TV, have you been playing anything else?
Goji Berry. Couple of things.
You can wash that down with Gatorade.
No. ruining the whole
Yes.
thing.
No.
Welcome, Joe. Welcome.
Mostly,
Berry.
it's
Tastes
mostly
like
just been a
purple rain.
shitload of Dota. If I'm totally frank with you, it's mostly been Dota and
Man,
a little
you've
bit
been
more
on the
Skullgirls.
Dota train.
Oh, well, I mean, I watched the international this weekend.
I was gonna
and
say, is it because of the $4.8
helped.
million pot?
that yeah,
Got you real jazzed.
That pot
Whoa.
was
How
just
much?
$2.8 million in the international.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck! And then you split that 5 ways.
But yeah, biggest esports
Oh, no, 'cause
tournament in the
the-
West so far.
Because Alliance only got 1.4 million.
1.6
right?
million, I believe. Yeah,
Oh.
the total pot, top 8 get paid. So even if you came in second place, I think you got 650 grand. So that's not too bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Wonder how much the game they can afford to give away that much.
Well, the
correct?
funny thing is that prize pool was basically paid for by the viewers because they bought a bunch of compendiums. And the compendium in
Yeah.
the game, which is a giant virtual book, which has a bunch of really cool info. It's got like a sticker page where you can stamp your favorite players. You collect them while you play games. There's like a fantasy team that you can set up. You can also put like virtual bets on like who you think will get the most kills, who will get the most support and things like that.
Wow, are you
Yeah,
serious?
it's like
Yeah.
huge. It's amazing.
that
and
that
some-
idea is fucking impressive.
It's really
That
cool, and
sounds
some of
cool.
the money from buying the compendium goes toward the winnings.
Yeah, they're saying that the sales of the
that's why the
compendium...
winnings were constantly going up.
Yeah, they're saying, I believe, that
Does
the
League of
compendium
Legends
basically
have
paid for the
something like that?
entire event, like the whole thing. A bit of it, I think it was 25% went to the prize pool. The 75% otherwise paid for the whole fucking event, as far as I know. So I don't think Valve even had to lift a finger in that regard. So I mean
Crazy.
that is innovation.
Yeah,
Like that is innovative. It really is, and it was
fucking
so
love
cool.
that. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
They did a really good job. They had like I believe a local news anchor from Seattle Fox, and she was great. She was an incredible anchor. Like she came in and had no idea what Dota was, and she was just awesome. Like the entire way through, not remotely awkward at any point, doing great interviews, all sorts of backstage stuff all the time, completely enthusiastic about everything. I'm like, this is great. This is as close to mainstream sports as we have ever been. It's awesome.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it. It was a really fun tournament, and I know a lot of people that have never seen Dota before watched that finals. The finals went to Game 5. It was super close. It was clutch as hell. It was brilliant. The atmosphere was awesome, even just watching from home. I can't imagine what it must have been like being there. So,
And you can watch all the replays on the official Dota 2 website.
yes, you can. All of the VODs, and or you can just watch them in game from your own perspective. Being able to watch the entire tournament in game while it was going on, bonkers, bonkers. Love it. Yeah, so Dota mostly, and
So all of it. I mean, people are saying almost all of it was all of it was fan funded.
for the most part, the sales of the compendiums, the 25% of the compendium sales was supposed to bump the prize pool up, which it did significantly. But there are murmurings around that the rest of the money from the compendiums basically just paid for the whole fucking event.
That is insane. Valve is the smartest MFers on the planet.
They really are. Like,
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know how much it would have cost them to run that event. Like, I've heard some figures from various esports events. Like, I think IPL 3, which was for the longest time one of the biggest StarCraft tournaments that we've had in the West, cost about $1 million to put on in total. But if you think about like how much the compendium raised, and then you think about the extra money that they got from that, yeah, feasibly they could have paid for the whole thing.
Do most tournaments like that? I mean, I'm definitely not big in the tournament scene. I just started to like get into Evo stuff. I mean, do most tournaments like that pay for themselves? Like, because
No.
$1 million sounds like a lot of freaking money for a
Yeah,
tournament.
IGN put a lot of money into that. They definitely didn't get a return. Most tournaments have to, they all run ads during the show, but it's the sponsors that pay for it for the most part. And the thing about the International 3 is it didn't have any sponsors. Like, it was sponsor-free and ad-free the entire way. The only
That's
sponsors
so
that got
awesome.
promoted were the sponsors of the teams, which
Yeah.
is awesome. I mean, but no
Can we
other tournament
sponsor
could
a
do that,
team?
really.
Can we sponsor a team?
I already do
Dear-
sponsor a team.
Yeah, but a Dota 2 team.
Do you want to sponsor a Dota 2 team?
Yes, I want to very badly.
Jesse,
Just
let's do
because-
You're a
it.
fucking liar.
Think of that money, dude. No, I'm in. And they have to be, they have to be all beautiful Asian women, facts. And they have
Oh,
to
I'm
be
out. I'm out. Nope.
You've already lost me.
Fucked it up. You done fucked it
It was
up.
going
You
so well until you did that.
done fucked
We
it
can
up.
have one. Look, Dodger. We can throw in one like Asian boy band guy for you. His name.
They'll
His
still
name,
all be Asian.
Oh yeah, no.
just can't
They're
let
The
it be
Asians
else
lost
all-
this time around. Like it
They're
was
definitely all Korean.
The
They're all
Swedes.
Korean.
The Swedes are where it's at.
Yep. Sweden won that. Then
What if we find
Ukraine came in
Asian
second.
Swedes?
Malaysia came in third.
If we find Asian Swedes, we have found the super team.
Right.
Great, just
Oh
great.
my god. That's it. If you are Asian and Swedish, call me.
That could win StarCraft, man. I tell you, that's the two best StarCraft all put into one.
Why
Would
do
be.
the Americans suck so bad at these competitions?
I have no idea. The Americans are really bad at StarCraft
Well,
as well.
I'll
for the
tell you
most
what,
part.
man. If I'm into Infinite Crisis, so I want to get into that scene. I'm fucking good, so I will rep America.
Don't worry, no Asians play that game. You'll be absolutely fine.
Fuck you.
There's a guy saying he has
Fuck
a
you. You know
Well,
what? Infinite Crisis, people are shitting on that game. Like, as soon as I put up, champion, spotlights or builds on it, like how I build
It's a
Batman and
copy
things
of
like that.
this other game, which was also a copy of another game,
Yeah.
which is the...
It's so stupid. So stupid. And then they're like, this game sucks in comparison to Dota and League of Legends. You're right. You are absolutely fucking right. But those games have been out for 4 to 5, 6 years, polished to a fucking T. It has had the benefit of millions of players giving feedback and improving the game, For the love of God. I enjoy all those types of games, and I like the MOBA genre. And combining the MOBA genre with superheroes, I think is an ingenious idea. It fits so well, because what do superheroes do? They activate superpowers while they fight each other. It's perfect. And the latest beta build in Infinite Crisis, it's a huge improvement over the last one.
I need to try it, because when I tried Infinite Crisis, I did come to the conclusion, I should just play League of Legends Dominion because it's better than this in every way right now. But it is a very early beta, and it's lacking a lot of content and polish.
It's way better, TB. Like the responsiveness of the mouse clicks. The camera
that was a
has
big
been
problem I had
improved.
with it.
The item shop has been improved. All the champions have been pretty much rebalanced. So many bugs have been fixed. They've completely changed the way the Dominion map works. Instead of getting the middle point and it firing a 100-point shot on your base, which going from 500 points or 300 or whatever your base is at, losing 100 points immediately was way too punishing. And they've changed it with whoever gets the middle point, it basically drops some robots, and then these robots walk to the other 5 towers, if you're familiar with Dominion, and help you capture the tower.
Oh,
and
interesting. Okay.
Towers will suit the robots only, so it's a lot easier to capture those towers if you cooperate with your team members to go capture it, because the tower ignores you while it's shooting the robot. And it just feels so much more like a Saturday morning cartoon or like a superhero game should, that these big robots fucking, jump into the game, and you gotta beat them up, and it's a great game. It's getting better all the time. Is it better than Dota? Hell no.
No.
Is it better than League of Legends? Hell no. Okay, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I love the DC universe. If you're a sucker for the DC universe like me, you're gonna love this game. And that's what I've been playing recently.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's salesmanship.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Is
In
anyone
fact,
really
every
surprised
fucking-
that Joe's promoting a DC game? I mean, really? Come
not in
on,
the slightest.
come on.
I'm gonna have fucking 7 Superman builds. I'm probably terrible at building champions, by the way, so I'm probably just
You're
gonna
most
rip
likely
off
awful at it,
fans,
yeah.
and they'll tell me how to
But
build.
don't worry,
Most
everyone
people are
else
pretty
is bad
awful
too.
at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be all right. That's the wonderful thing about games like Dota and League. Everyone's bad, so,
Yeah. So, I think that, and the items in the game are a lot more simple than, and that's another thing that the League of Legends
They
players and the
definitely
Dota
use
players-
Strife. They used not Strife. Oh god, that's S2's new game. They use the Smite model, which is a smaller pool of items but upgrades for items instead of items, recipes, and shit.
Exactly.
Which is a lot
And
easier to understand.
one last thing about it that you may not know, in the new build, they've added unique special or stolen powers. You remember how there was only a list about 10 of the stolen powers?
Yeah.
They had the meteor and the teleportation, and really they didn't feel all that useful. I feel like you couldn't outrun somebody, you couldn't chase them down even when you activate your super speed. Well, now all of those special powers or summoner spells, as in League of Legends, every single character has their own unique one. And that right there adds so much depth to the game. So Wonder Woman has a unique version of super strength. Shazam has a unique version of this bubble invulnerability that also gives him health. And so once you can level up these individual characters up to level 4 to unlock their unique special power, and you can use that special power on any of the champions that you own. So you can be Batman, and you can use Wonder Woman's, Shazam's invulnerability and Flash's super speed, and it's just a new layer of customization. And I think that's pretty awesome. So that's what I've been playing. And,
oh wow! So I just read my Twitter
really
about the Spelunky thing, and it's been pretty funny. Some guy's defending I Want to Be the Guy, saying, I don't get how you could possibly say I Want to Be the Guy is fucking awful. Why don't you say that Super Meat Boy is fucking awful too? Because Super Meat Boy is 20 times better than I Want to Be the Guy will ever be. Are you out of your fucking mind, man? God, are you kidding me? Super Meat Boy, critically acclaimed across the board as one of the tightest, most enjoyable and challenging platformers on the planet. I Want to Be the Guy, some stupid fucking troll game built specifically to annoy one fighting game guy. That's the difference.
It's not like what you're saying is that any challenging platformer is awful.
No. I mean, I hate them, don't get me wrong, but I would never argue that VVVVVV is a bad game or that Super Meat Boy is a bad game. But I Want to Be the Guy most assuredly is, because it was made to be. Oh, man. And then it's like, oh, Spelunky's a roguelike. No, I'm sorry. I played Rogue, the actual Rogue, and games that were like Rogue. Spelunky is not like Rogue. Stop it. It's like saying, my game's got guns, so it's a first-person shooter. No, it's not. Even the official Spelunky wiki says the game's not a roguelike. So, hey, I'm pretty sure I trust that one. There you go. Not a roguelike. Never will be. Play Angband.
Jesse, what have you been playing this week?
Sorry, internet. I was busy sort of sexually harassing Dodger there.
The fuck?
While you guys were
Sort
talking,
of.
I was informed of a Tumblr post that is not safe for work at all. But if you're a fan of the Avengers, it is interesting. That's all I can say. I will let you look it up on your own. Just go to Tumblr, and I don't know what you would type in. I don't want to tell you to type in anything. Just don't. You know what? Ignore what I just said. So yeah.
Just,
look. You are a terrible human being.
Yup.
No, wait, I want Dodger to... Can you explain, dear?
Just go to Tumblr and type in Avengers dildos, and you will find them.
That was on Reddit earlier. That's not as ridiculous as you think it is.
They are very ridiculous. No.
Dildos.
They're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. They are unnecessarily ridiculous.
They'll have different abilities.
Yes, that's true.
Earth's mightiest vibrators.
It's pretty great.
Yep.
Oh dear.
So there you go. See, Jesse, I explained for you.
I don't want to be that guy. I'm always that guy who's like, you know what I freaking think is hilarious? Dildos. I'm always that guy. Thank you for jumping on that bullet for
Well,
me.
Jesse, did you read the
welcome.
reviewer's guide for Saints Row 4, which says, we have hidden no less than 60 dildos in this game. See if you can find them. We're not telling you where they are.
Yes, having played Saints Row 4 this week, look, I can't say anything you guys can't say, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Fuck up.
Yeah.
I love being a superhero in
Fuck up.
a game called Saints Row 4.
And you will never receive a copy of a game again. The embargo police are already battering down your
The
door.
rest of
They
us.
don't care. You guys are the ones they care about. They're like, oh, this asshole? No, we're good.
Don't
No, this
take them
week
seriously
I've
anyway.
been playing like crazy Dragon Commander, like non-stop.
yes, yeah.
Just like non-stop all week long. I
Yeah. I reviewed Dragon Commander, man. That game is fucking cool. It's like a mixture of all of our favorite things, isn't it?
I actually, the one part that really surprised me that I didn't expect was when you have to like talk to the different races in a council, and they give you choices, but the choices aren't fantasy choices; they're real world choices in a fantasy
Apply to
setting.
a fantasy role, yeah.
So you get things like conscription, and so like some of the guys are like, well, of course we need people, and other people are like, you can't force people to fight. And then there's one where it's like, well, you know, as a dwarf, I think it was a dwarf, maybe it was the undead. They were like,
The
it
dwarves-
goes against religion to
that's
have
the undead.
same-sex
Yeah.
couples. And,
Yeah.
and the elves like, well, let people love who they want to love. Why would we tell them other? And so you have all these choices and affects your rating with different people as you go through the game. And then there's like a card mechanic, and then there's game combat that's kind of fun. And you're a dragon with a freaking jetpack. Come on.
Yeah, so basically watch my review, Shameless Plug.
Seriously, it's actually a really, really fun game, and I've been playing it nonstop. I played it once and I was doing well, and then got my ass handed to me. I was like, I need to rethink my strategy.
Fucking ass handed to you. One thing about that game is fucking easy, dude. Are you talking about the RTS battles, or are you talking about the campaign map play?
I'm talking about the campaign, like the map play. Is my first game that I played. My first game that I played, I spread too fast, too quickly, so I only had so many units on certain ones. And when they finally came for me in mass, I got my ass handed to me. And I just like even things where you can auto resolve battles. I had one where I had a 75% chance of victory. I was like, screw it, I'll let the army fight, and I lost. I was like, what? And so
sometimes the units can be upgraded, and the enemy can use their own cards and shit. So you gotta be careful.
So I switched, and instead of doing like the normal medium dragon that you can be, I was like, I want to be that big fat ass dragon who gets
the mountain dragon.
That guy's a boss. Now I'm just decimating. I've been playing it literally like almost all day yesterday. I was playing it and just rocking. I was like, this game is too much damn fun. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that game.
The only problem I really had with that game is that everything outside of the fights is more fun than the fights. Like, the fights are okay, especially when you know, zipping around as the jetpack dragon is pretty fun. Yeah, I'll give them that. But the actual RTS mechanics are really basic, and they're a bit blobby, and everything outside of that, like the diplomacy, the cards, the management, that's all amazing. Making those decisions and talking to all the characters, which are super well written, genuinely funny, and well voice acted, those are great. Everything about that game just oozes character, right? And then you go into RTS like, I guess this is all right. Can we get back to the talking now?
Rip out the RTS elements and replace that section completely. I mean, keep the dragon with the jetpack, but the RTS, it encourages Zerg rush mentality way too much. Yeah. If you do not rush immediately recruitment centers and your next base, you are fucked. There's no turtling. There's no build up your research and sort of, defend your base with like turrets and shit and be awesome like that. Then go out and find
turrets are rubbish in that game. You're not going to get anywhere with them.
Garbage.
Yeah. Plus, most of the units, the enemy right away will upgrade their troops to have like the minute a troop is next to your turret, it automatically takes it over. It's
the capture thing, that is infuriating.
Why did I even build turrets then? It's really unfair. But then also at the same time, if you're getting your ass kicked and you just go back to your base and you sit there, the game's like 4 minutes until you win. You're like, what? And so you just
if it's a defense mission, if they're attacking you, you could just like just run out the clock on that.
Anything.
Yeah.
I was like,
the AI has a little bit of issues, and I pointed that out, and I really do like that game. I hope that it does well enough that we may see a sequel or something. I have no idea. I don't speak for them, but
I mean, I love Larry.
If they redo the RTS elements, that game could become an instant classic.
Yeah, right now it's like it's really good and interesting enough to play. It's just like the RTS stuff, rather than being the centerpiece of what's enjoyable in that game, is kind of an annoying side thing that you sort of have to do.
Yeah, and it's sad that the unit design is so poor. Like, everything feels so generic. And none of the races have any factor on the battlefield.
No, they don't. That's
dwarves, you don't see undead, you don't see, like, fucking fantasy troops. You don't care about your units. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I would care so much if these units were, like, fucking, oh, man, it would be so much better. But the game, like TV said, the game is good enough that you can buy it and just play on the campaign map and auto-resolve and use your generals, and then here and there play a few battles, and you'll still enjoy them.
You can pace that stuff out to the point where it's not super annoying. It's not terrible, it's just that's the weakest bit of the game. Yeah, and that's the problem, because it's supposed to be the centerpiece of it.
And really, the character, like, I'm a big story nerd, and the characters are great. The story is but the characters
so well acted, right?
The characters are great.
Voice acted, I mean.
The fucking it's hilarious. Like, it is legitimately funny, like, all the time as well. It's great.
There's and the fact that they bring, like, they take the tropes of gaming characters, but like up the ante a bit. So you have like the fire cat girl who's like, oh, I'm crazy. And then you have like the feminist lady. Then you also have the guy who has the robot arm. And you have the little goblin guy who's like, I like to blow shit up, right? And then you have all the races in your council that are just like basically every trope of a race, but they're all like really well thought out. So the dwarves aren't just like, we love gold. They actually have personalities behind that. And then there's
that's great.
You forgot the doppelganger of TB, General Edmund.
That guy is amazing,
That is
by
totally
the way.
TB. Just playing.
I like the lizard people. The lizard people are like
The lizard people are really interesting,
the lizard people are like the most human out of all the races, which is hilarious.
which is
'cause they're
ironic.
Like, look,
Yeah.
yeah, they're like, we don't worship the trees like the elves, or we don't worship like we know we need both though. Like I stick with them. They're the most sensible. The lizard people know what's up.
Your lizard
lizard
advisor
people.
is haughty as hell, though. Like,
yeah, he's
I remember
hilarious.
like, early on in the game forcing him to take part in some weird gnomish ritual and things like that, which was pretty funny. And you can make all these great decisions that piss off one guy, and actually they have no right answer. And Larian's been so good about avoiding morality, like avoiding binary morality in their games, and they continue to do that with Dragon Commander, and it's so fantastic.
But no, I think the reason why I identify with the lizards most, and probably you guys too, is because they're the most logical of the group.
That's what I was saying. They're the most.
Yeah.
They're the most human out of all of them because they don't respond. Like, the undead are like, everything is religious. Because, like, look, we were brought back by the gods, so everything we do is for the gods.
But the funny thing is that they're not horribly unreasonable all the time. Like, the way that you said that the dwarf characters act, like, oh, yeah, we're greedy. But some of the stuff they say makes legitimate good sense. Yeah. And there's no legitimately bad race in that game that's just, like, pure evil. No, they all have a good set of motivations behind it. They all want what's best. They just...
And they give you...
No,
like, they give you good reasoning.
I'd argue that the undead are consistently wrong. The undead are way consistent.
No, not always. Not always.
But they all give you, like,
Name
good
one
reasoning.
example where the undead were like, yeah, that's totally...
The undead genuinely believe that people dying actually is a good thing, yeah? They genuinely believe that, and they think that those people will be happier when they do die, because they have a race of undead people that are actually kind of cool with it,
They're
right?
happy, yeah.
Oh, I see what
they're
you're
pretty
saying.
happy.
Yeah, from their point of view, of course.
Yeah,
from their point of
that's
view,
good,
they are right.
because for fuck's sake, we've had so many games for so long, and BioWare's the most guilty of this, this is good, this is bad, pick which color you like, you know? It's so refreshing not to see a game do that.
And the reason, like I was gonna say, the reasoning that they all give you when you make choices are all really sound answers.
They're well
early
thought
on in the
out.
game,
Yeah.
early on in the game, there's one choice you have to make, which is you're in a time of war, so there's a bunch of war refugees coming to your countries.
Yes, yeah.
And when they get there, a lot of them are involved in crime. And so one of the advisors is like, look, we should just, if they're caught as a criminal, we should just deport him once we catch them. And the choices they give you, some guys are like, well, hold on, why deport them? Why not just make them work in the mines? That sounds easier to me. And some guys are like, no, you have to get them out of the country because it's just going to sow chaos. And they give you a lot of reasons. So your choice, no matter what you make, you feel justified in making it because there isn't a bad choice. It's just you're making a choice and it affects your country.
I kind of felt the opposite. Maybe I have a strong moral compass or something. I felt all of the decisions that I made were easy as fuck to make, and I wish that they would have made them slightly harder. Because
I didn't
literally,
find that
if
at
your
all.
treasury is big enough, why not give healthcare to all of your soldiers in your empire? If
you're a
ban
cold logical
ban
machine,
video
then.
games, no, there's
You're
no reason
a
to ban
cold
video
logical
games.
machine, Joe. That's not a moral compass. You're making decisions based on game mechanics, not on your morality. That makes you a horrible person.
No,
I like that you say that after he's like, yeah, give healthcare to people, and you're like, you cold bastard.
But they have
it's a time
legitimate
of
reasons
war.
not
it's
to.
Your money. It's your money. Either you give up your money and you start losing money in order to give
No,
healthcare
I
to
just
people.
fucking start conquering more fucking territory.
So you kill people in order to fund healthcare for your own race. You
Yeah.
douchebag.
God
You're
bless
horrible.
the angry army and no one else.
See what I mean? It's
Yeah,
a
I
smart.
like
I think it's a
that now.
smarter game than you give it credit for. I really do. And I think people
That's
should look
what
at
I've
it
been
because
playing,
it's really
so.
interesting.
Oh, and Payday 2, which is still that came out
Which
today,
I
yes?
still haven't got to play multiplayer with you. I played the. I've actually had the commercial
play
version for
with
the
y'all.
last few days.
That's
The-
four
Oh,
players.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
bit.
Jared?
Yeah. It's a lot of. It's. I found that with the AI, you can actually. It's a
We're
way
like the
easier.
ultimate fucking bank heist team. There it is right there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we haven't just done
Let's
this.
do it. Film
Yeah.
it.
I don't know why I haven't just done this, but I played with the AI on the commercial version instead of the beta a couple of days ago. Seems like it's way more doable now. It's not completely fucking bonkers out of its mind
yeah.
terrible. For some reason, it starts you with 3 people now instead of 4. The frequency of the attacks seems to have lessened. The people are less sort of instantly aware of you. It's feasible to do it on your own, but it's no fucking fun. Because it's just wave after wave of bullshit enemies. It's a really bad Left 4 Dead clone when you play it on your own. When you play it with friends where you can do clever shit, that's when things start to get interesting.
Yeah. The other Sunday, I played with some guys for charity, and that was really fun.
I streamed Counter-Strike with those guys. You're talking about the guy from DICE?
DICE, yep.
Yeah, he's great.
Yep.
He's really cool.
They have like a legit charity where they actually go do stuff and don't just send money to people. So I was like, I will gladly help you guys. Yeah. And that was like when we were playing, we played some of the like multi-day missions, the ones that go on for like 3 days, and we're just like, holy shit, because everything you do affects the outcome overall.
Oh, that's so fucking cool.
Let me just tell you.
Really
the
cool,
more people you fucking have, the more batshit crazy it is. And how difficult it is. People fucking dropping from the ceiling, just ridiculous ass shit.
It's not just that though.
Love that.
Because it can also get smarter as well. If you have a lot of people working with you, you can do a heist without being detected, or you can you can do some really clever stuff. Someone was talking about having a guy outside. I think it's the jewelry store heist mission. You can go in the back, subdue the guard. You can then go in there, and you can have one guy at the outside to subdue the civilians before they actually raise the alarm. And you can do the entire mission without having the police come at all, which is awesome.
That's actually.
What the fuck is the fun in going into a bank heist?
Are we getting our fake guns out because I've got more than you do?
Oh god.
No, you fucking don't.
Oh no.
No, you fucking
Is it going to be an arms race?
Let's go look at dildos again.
Fucking arms race.
Wait, why does everyone have a gun now?
I'm bring out my whole fucking collection. My gun racks have gun racks. Motherfucker. This is Texas. Oh, he went to go.
Right, come on. If we're going to be ridiculous with fake guns.
Yes.
Oh man, you lucky ass. Okay,
Don't use
your
real
one
guns,
gun.
kids. Use
Nice.
fake guns. I have a rack of 12
That is a pretty
back
nice
there.
one. I like that.
Oh, this? They extended the magazine on it because, a Desert Eagle doesn't have enough rounds. This is fucking huge. It's stupid.
It's fucking awesome.
The stupid thing is fully automatic as well.
Where did Jesse go? Does he have guns as well?
Yeah, they made a fully automatic gas-powered Desert Eagle airsoft gun. The most worthless, useless thing you could ever imagine. Oh dear. We're getting ready for our Payday the Heist. He's got to put his mask on. Oh, what the fuck?
What up, haters?
Bring out that weak ass shit.
That's the best thing you could come up with.
What up? What up, haters?
Prettiest gun in the West.
I'm dangerous.
I think just.
I wanna go.
Where's he gone?
range
What's
for
he
the
gonna
big
get now?
guns.
If he's gonna get the pulse rifle, I'll go get mine.
I like how my gun is tinier than Dodger's.
Dodger has this kind of cheap, transparent Colt 1911. I've got this gigantic-ass Desert Eagle thing, and you have that.
What up?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
What up? Hello, Mr. Bond.
Jesse, you're not exercising proper trigger discipline.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. It's fucking on now.
Sorry.
We can kill it.
My pulse rifle's probably still the pride of my collection. I need to take the orange tip off mine, though, because it's getting a little silly.
Can we all pose with our guns?
Huh?
We will just look silly if we do that.
Pose with your gun.
All right.
Dodge, where's your guns? Oh, there, she got one there. Yeah, somebody take a
That's
picture.
sexy. We are bank robbers.
Yes, we're gonna go rob some banks right now with the airsoft. Let's.
Payday 2 with pulse rifles.
That's
and
Borderlands
fucking
2.
guns.
Get out. That's not legitimate at all. Oh, jeez.
Amazing.
Well,
Weapon I
we're a
own.
bunch of man children. Let's be honest.
I guess we're gonna have to play Payday 2 now.
I guess we're going to play Payday 2. That's going to be a thing. Big thanks to the Onerification, by the way, for the footage that we just showed you of Payday 2 of the bank
Oh, I
heist.
forgot my Payday
So
mask
thank
is
you
in the
very much.
background, too.
Yeah, you could have just
Payday
worn
mask.
that with the little pink
I
gun.
just
That
put
would have
that
been
on.
awesome.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Has anyone
shit.
played anything else this week?
Oh, shut up.
Cloudberry Kingdom.
Cloudberry. Oh god, what's been your experience with Cloudberry Kingdom?
Oh my gosh, it's a great game. I absolutely love it.
Really?
It's great multiplayer and it's great by myself.
I
'Cause, like,
haven't played the multiplayer yet. What's the difference?
So the multiplayer that we played, we did it on Friend Zone, and it was awesome because you're not competing against each other. It's
Oh dear.
She just whipped out her microphone, and now she's gone. Well, that's what you get for talking about the Friend Zone on the Co-optional Podcast.
I just cut her off for talking about the inferior podcast.
Deleted.
wow.
Well,
Doctor,
Wow,
turn your
guys.
camera back on. I didn't hang up on you, God.
Yep. Right. Sure. No, I get it. It's fine.
Immediate dismissal, apparently.
That's what you get for talking about the Friend Zone on the Co-optional Podcast.
Hey, it's not a podcast.
That's
is
right.
it?
It's not.
What is it?
It's not
It's
a
a
real
live
thing.
stream where people sit in kigurumis and play games. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
it's not a real thing.
Kigurumis.
It's not-
This is Cloudberry
Yeah.
Kingdom from Friend Zone, by the way, currently on Polaris. If I recall correctly, you play Cloudberry Kingdom with a fellow that has done movies at times.
Jason Mewes,
Yeah,
yes.
Jason Mewes from Jay and Silent Bob. He was the coolest dude.
Best known for his appearance in Noobs. He
Yep,
fell on
that's
hard
his
times.
role. No, he was super cool. He was a lemur.
Obviously.
That was his kigurumi.
Yeah.
And he had the longest tail. It was a very long tail.
I thought I hated spirit hoods. I've never experienced hate till I've seen a Kigurumi. Those things are awful.
They're so
Stop
comfy.
it.
I
Stop
love
it.
them.
No, it's not. It's comfy if you're naked under there, but I know you're not. So stop it. Stop it.
Not
Internet.
Not on Friend Zone.
Polaris is annoyingly
Oh.
PG-13 these days, so, you know,
That's hot.
No, but
So
yeah,
basically it's for furries.
we played Cloudberry Kingdom, and
Yep.
it was awesome because it's like everybody screaming at each other because you want to be the person who gets all the way across, but at the same time, if you just can't
you don't
get
want
it,
to be...
and
You
one
also don't
person
want to go
thinks that,
first,
like,
I imagine. Because...
Well, everybody goes at once.
Yeah, but like I'm watching the footage now, and like one guy jumped into the spike, and then the second guy like knew that sort of did a better jump, and then fell into something else. So you don't want to be at the front because surely that would make you more likely to die.
Sometimes you do if there's a platform that needs to be jumped off of that will disappear.
Oh yes, yes.
after someone's jumped on it. So like there are pros and cons to just like going for it or
Yeah.
waiting. It's,
Well,
Oh, please tell me Jason's character is an angel because that gives me some wonderful Dogma memories.
no, I think
Damn it.
Strippin
Lost
was
the
the
guy?
angel. I was
no.
the devil. And God, what were the other characters on there?
Missed
You guys are-
opportunity.
You guys are effing horrible at this game.
You are really bad. Like that's
you-
actually incredible. I am better
so
than you
fun.
at Cloudberry Kingdom, and I am awful at Cloudberry Kingdom.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Like I'm
fun.
watching. Like the thing about this game is once
This
you
was
play,
my first time playing it when we played on this show.
you just it's so easy to. All you need to do is figure out the rhythm. Every level has
Yeah,
a
it's
rhythm.
all a rhythm,
And once you figure
yeah.
it out, you can just go through it without even having to stop. That's the key. And every
But
time I watch
it's
someone
also-
stop, I'm like, no, don't stop, go.
But it's also very disorienting when there are three other people moving at the same time.
I can
have to
imagine that
say.
would screw it over. Is there anything else you can kind of do to screw people over in that game, or not? Is it just like you just got to run?
I mean, you don't want to. You don't want to screw people
I
over.
really do.
In
Yeah, what are you
multiplayer.
talking about? That's the fun.
Well, it doesn't like at the end. It doesn't give you a you did better than everybody else. It's just like try to get as far as you can with everybody.
So is there really a point in playing multiplayer in that game aside from hey, let's just fail with friends?
It's just really fun. Like there.
So it
you
is
don't-
fail with friends.
You don't get a reward. Yeah, it's
Okay.
fail with friends.
All right. I mean, that's legit, don't get me wrong, especially considering you can just play single player in that game, but it seems like the opposite of Spelunky, where, like, the single player in Cloudberry seems to be the best way to do things, whereas the multiplayer in Spelunky, which is surprisingly similar because they are both procedurally generated platformers designed to horribly kill you, but that, Cloudberry lets you play the level again and not screw it up, whereas
Yeah.
Spelunky doesn't, so...
It's
Yeah.
true.
You guys really
very
love
fun.
your platformers.
I don't.
I haven't played
No, I
any
don't.
of these.
Oh my god, I love platformers. They're
Yeah,
so
Dawn is
fun.
she's our
I hate them.
platformer person. Like,
Yeah,
if there's
yeah.
ever a game when TB and I are talking about like MMOs and our RTSs, Dodger's like,
Yeah.
And then the minute it's like,
Are you serious, Dodger? Come on.
Yeah, and then we talk about TCGs or board games, and Jesse instantly shuts down.
That's true. We all have like a
TV's
certain
been
type of
playing,
game where we're just
Fortune
like,
of Glory recently.
Oh, nice.
Damn good board game.
Yeah,
It's like fucking Indiana Jones.
We're just about to, I think a couple of days we're going to be playing Relic, which is the 40k version of Talisman, which is
I
awesome.
got that one too. Don't
Yeah.
like it too
Just picked up
much.
Mage Knight.
But
And we played Cards Against Humanity last night, and we discovered
who is we?
Well, Zook has moved into the office, so my guy that does my editing and stuff, has all moved
I've
in.
been wanting to get my guy
wow.
Marobot to move in, but he hasn't moved.
Yeah, so we now have Zook. So not only does he now has started doing a cooking show at our house, which is convenient because that means that we get to eat it, and then we play Cards Against Humanity, and I am a terrible person, it would seem, because I got 3 times as many points as anybody else in that game.
So you found a new board game, buddy? You don't need me.
Joe, you coming to PAX, right, Joe? Please tell me you're coming to PAX, Joe.
play a board game.
Joe, you coming to PAX, right?
yeah, Joe.
Why don't you come to Austin and play
Next
board
time I'm in
games?
Texas, I'll come and play board games, and we can go do our bro
I'm
thing.
gonna live in Austin. We're gonna have Google Fiber, and we can start a board game show.
We can do-
Google Fiber,
reviews
I'm
of board
moving.
games.
We can do our bro thing, Joe. We can do what we did last time I was there. Go at 1 in the morning and drive around Austin trying to find Star Trek hero clicks. It was the best thing. It was the most fun I've ever had in a
buying Star
car.
Trek shit for real. And
We
then
really did.
came
We
home
went
and
into
we
this old
played Star
toy
Trek
shop, and you
miniatures
bought
and
this
like,
Enterprise that, like,
We were
detached
children.
from it. I bought a Romulan warbird that made noises.
I bought
It was-
a USS Enterprise that I've been wanting forever.
It was like from 1989, so the batteries in it were just like a pool of acid, so I had to take them out and replace them.
Play deck? Do they even make like toys anymore? I think
I don't know. I have no idea, but
we've lost everybody.
yeah. I got my Kirk in the HMS Bounty Klingon Bird of Prey that was super OP and played him. It was great.
Awesome.
Yep. That happened.
Hero clicks. The only game where Iron Man can fight the Enterprise and it can be rules canon. It's legit.
That would be awesome.
It's legit. Have we played anything else, or is now about time that we go to a break? Is there anything else?
Go to a break.
Nothing
There's
else new.
We can go to a break, I guess. I don't think there's anything else I have played, and that kind of upsets me. At least nothing that I can actually talk about.
Yeah.
Ugh, God. Although I'm actually going on holiday in a few days, so I might play more handheld stuff while I'm there. Might be
Sorry, I just
time
got a
for
message.
more Project X Zone, or more time for Shin Megami Tensei. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just got
that
a
one.
message after that last conversation that said, and I quote, "You're probably sitting there in your underwear, and you're still the most mature one." I'd just like to say that is funny as shit. Not true. Not true. Well, the underwear part
No,
is, but
not at all.
but
Right, of course.
not mature. What the shit is that poop? Is that monkey
that
poo?
look-
I just happen to have a sausage right here, as it turns out.
That is not a sausage, dude.
Oh!
Nasty. That is poo. That is.
Yeah, that is boo.
Thank you
I
for
wanted to make that
watching
one
the co-optional podcast. We're gonna
Game
take
of
a
Thrones
break.
reference.
When
We'll
we
be
come
right
back, we'll be talking about news. So stick around and listen to our beautiful music. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the co-optional podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed the sounds of Arc System Works soundtrack to BlazBlue, which is awesome, by the way. Motorhead and Oriental Flower were the 2 songs that we played during the break. Well, now that you've got back from your sausage-induced terror, we can...
Uh-huh.
Ah, that scene in Game of Thrones. Ugh. I think you all know what I'm talking about.
He was just eating sausage, TB. There was nothing weird about that.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Entirely
Obviously.
correct.
By the way, that actor.
He's also
someone
a
pay him
well-adjusted
extra.
individual. Jesus.
He isn't. I love that actor. The guy who plays him. Mwah, fantastic.
Has he been in anything else?
Yeah. Look, everyone in Game of Thrones is wonderful. Everyone, hands down. I
What else
might
has
be a
he
little
been
bit,
in?
Petro?
might be a little bit in love with Ygritte, by the way. I just want her to be like, you know nothing. I just want
Jesse
her to say every
Cox.
day.
Jesse Cox.
Well, we already say that anyway. You just want us to say it in an accent.
I do. Look, if there are any Irish girls out there, marry me. That's it. All right.
any Irish girl. It does
Anyone.
not matter.
I don't have
Oh, you have
any
to have red
standards
hair.
whatsoever. It's
And no, you have to be used to living in the wild. Really. Also,
well,
I
if you live in
just-
Ireland, then
I just got this like 20 seconds ago. It just
oh,
showed
Shin
up in
Megami
the mail.
Tensei 4. There you go.
Yes, I was so excited, and then I saw it said rated M for mature. What is in this game? Have you played
Demons.
this, TV?
Well, yeah, played
Is
it.
that?
Demons?
Look,
for
I'm,
the most
I'm
part.
kind of hoping for 3DS boobs, but whatever.
Nah,
Whatever.
Nah, you're not gonna get that.
It's just violence, isn't it?
Here's the thing.
And demons.
It comes with its own strategy guide. The
Yes, it
game,
does.
you buy it, and it's like, here, have a strategy guide. Really?
Yeah, because they'd prefer you to actually play the game for more than an hour without just leaving. I don't blame them.
I'm in.
Yeah, until I realized that you had to grind a little bit before you beat the first boss, I was like, am I just missing something here when I just got obliterated by him? Like, oh, yeah, I forgot. It's a JRPG. I should have ground 3 more levels before I did that.
It's awesome. All right, let's talk news, shall we?
Yeah.
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 All right, well-
we can do that.
First story. Xbox? Are we going Xbox?
Yeah, I think we're going back to Xbox. This is consistently in the news because of multiple 180s when it comes to the system. I think this is the final big one, actually.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for laughing with me on that.
Come on. Anyway, I think this is the final big bugbear that people had with that system, and that is the need for Kinect. That has now been demolished. You do not need a Kinect even plugged into the system anymore. It will work just like a regular, normal, sensible console, and you don't have to have your Kinect plugged in.
I shouldn't
And they're
laugh.
putting-
This is actually the most sensible thing that they can fucking do. They
Oh,
really
absolutely.
are doing a really good job of reversing all of the stupid ass shit that they tried to, basically
They're
pull
still
off.
charging $100 more, which is dumb, but
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
read that story and I was like, oh shit, they're getting rid of the Kinect? No.
Oh, they're
it's
still
not.
giving it to you. Like,
Yeah.
there's no report as of yet if there will be a Kinectless version sold.
No, there will not be.
No,
Steve.
because
That will
I do
not
genuinely
happen.
believe that
Period.
Microsoft wants 100% installed user base of Kinect. Like,
Yes.
they want that. Even if you choose not to use it, they want you to have one.
Yes,
They're
because
also
they believe
like-
that will create better games for the Kinect 2. And I mean, I understand that line of thinking, but
They're also giving you like all sorts of different personalization settings with the Kinect, I guess
yeah.
now. So now they're making it so that you can only have the camera but turn off the microphone, or only have the microphone and turn off the camera, or turn
good.
off everything but still have Xbox on there. Like just very
Yeah.
specific
Admittedly,
things.
I wouldn't trust any of those things unless the fucking thing was unplugged.
I know,
Maybe
that's how
if
I feel too.
If Microsoft hadn't colluded with the NSA to release user information, then we might trust them a little more than we do now. But right now,
it's-
not so much.
Man, God, I still can't get over how much they done. They fucked it up. How many people do you think out there, at least the dude bros, are following each and every one of these updates and how the Xbox is
aren't.
changing?
I
They
can't
are.
imagine
Well,
that
some
many
of them
more.
are, but not mainstream is not on all of these.
Well, they even hit the
individual
mainstream.
pages.
Like, that stuff
Could you
was
imagine
on
how amazing
mainstream
it would
talk
have been?
shows. You know?
How amazing it would have been if all of these things that are happening now were announced all at once at the conference, because
their
in
conference.
addition to the
We'd have
Kinect
had an
that was
arms race on our
required,
hands, and it would have been
I
good.
think they reversed self-publishing. There will be
Yeah,
you'll
they did
be
that
able
as well.
to publish games.
Yep.
So if they came out at fucking guns a-blazing, like I was saying in some of my vlogs,
Like
that's
Sony
exactly
did.
what they needed to do. They fucked it up. And
Yeah.
now
Yep.
they're backpedaling on everything, and I'm just wondering how much of this stuff is actually getting out there to the mainstream people.
it's gonna
don't
the
know.
thing it's gonna come down to now, because of like they sort of screwed themselves a little bit, where they have to sort of every so often update. But I think what it's gonna come down to now is games on launch. If the games
Yeah.
are there for Xbox, no one's gonna give any shits, and they're gonna buy an Xbox over a PlayStation because the games are there. That's what it's about. So it's about what games they can get out.
Yeah,
at
and
launch.
that's an entirely legitimate way to buy a console, by the way. Buying a console that doesn't have any fucking games for it is not very useful, especially when it's not backwards compatible in the first place.
Yeah, let me tell you another thing about, mainstream. So a lot of my friends, they don't keep up with gaming news like I do. They ask me questions, and I was in an outright argument when I was watching some Dallas Cowboy preseason football, outright argument with a friend of a friend who believes that the Xbox One will record television. He's like, I think it's great that Xbox is allowing us to record television shows and
no,
things
it
like
won't.
that. The Xbox One does not allow you to record
Nope.
TV. It doesn't do that.
No,
You have to.
it's not a
so
TiVo.
say you have Time Warner or Comcast or whatever it is, you still have to pay for that fucking DVR service or the separate box that will allow you to do that, depending on your service provider. The Xbox does not do that. What the Xbox does do is it captures game DVR and only at 720p at 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
And you have to have Xbox Gold. In order to
Which
do
the-
so.
Is he talking
I've
about
never-
the NFL thing that they're hooking up? That weird like NFL is going to go directly through Xbox now thing?
Can you watch NFL replays through it now? Is that
I
a
recall
thing?
there's some
Or-
kind of
what you're talking
service
about?
that they're setting up, which
They
will
have not
involve
released many details on that. In fact, we have no idea whether that service is even free.
I
think
doubt
the,
it.
Yeah, I
Very
think
much
the
doubt it.
MLB service was not free. So, I mean, you're going to be putting on top of your Xbox Live subscription, you're going to be putting fucking, Netflix, and you're going to be putting NFL, and you're going to be putting Hulu Plus and all this shit. So, I mean, yeah, that's great that you can have fantasy football, go on your screen while you're playing games and stuff. I'm a football fan, so I'm interested in that. But I just don't think that that's, do you have to pay for that service? And if you do,
Likely.
I'm going to say, fuck you, because I can't find my phone right now, but I have a smartphone. I mean, fantasy team right there. I don't need it on my fucking Xbox.
The problem is that literally
Where's my phone?
Xbox is everyone sided with the Xbox. Like we're gonna make this a great system. Is like the NFL, which is not known for being very generous. EA, which is a whole other thing. Like you were saying, Time Warner. Like that's what I think of Time.
That's
Warner's
what
the
happens when you
worst.
try and say Time Warner over a Time Warner connection. It gets all garbled.
Dude, fuck
It's
Time
normal.
Warner.
Yeah,
I
thank
have
you.
Time Warner.
Thank
Even
you. The
Patrick Stewart hates Time Warner. That's how bad Time Warner
is
is.
the worst. Like they're everywhere too. You can't avoid them. Like it's a pain. So like all those groups
Enjoy those
combined,
monopolies.
like we're gonna be the backbone of Xbox. That scares the balls out of me.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna charge you an arm and a leg for everything.
Just throw the
and that's
WWE
not-
in there, and you've basically got the axis of
Oh
evil
my god!
right there.
Yeah, I functionally cannot wait to see what happens because either they're about to surprise us and be like, "Oh no, we've created something amazing," or it's just gonna be like they're gonna nickel and dime the shit out of us, and I don't have time for that.
Well,
and not,
I mean, it's
and
being
not
built as
even
a
like
service
a
problem,
cost problem. It's also a none of these companies or programs are reliable problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes.
there are so many issues.
It's also a fairly large problem that they're not supported in most countries either. It's like, this is clearly an American system, designed for American consumers. So what are you going to do for the Europeans and all the other markets in the world? Something regional, something.
You
Come on.
get the FIFA. Like, deal with it, world. Like,
Yeah, that cracked me up how hard they were pushing like American football, and
Yeah.
I was like, but
Nobody
most
else
countries
cares.
don't care. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, we're literally, I think,
Don't
the
give a
only
damn.
ones that actually care about American football. Like,
There's like one other country, I can't remember which, but who else actually legitimately plays American football?
I don't.
I don't even know who it is. It's
Canada
that.
plays football. There's a Canadian football league. There used to be a European league, but
Canada.
that got disbanded.
Yeah, because nobody fucking watched it.
Yeah.
Countries
Hey,
who
fuck
play
you guys,
American
okay?
football.
look, no, I agree.
Fuck you
Football is
guys.
wonderful, but
America. This is not going well, guys. I'm
North
trying.
America.
I'm really trying.
some people are saying Samoa and Australia. Thank you, Samoa.
Australia plays rugby.
That's where we get our best football players is from Samoa. So keep it up, guys.
Yeah, according to this list that I found on Wiki Answers, there's actually a lot of countries, but I'll be damned. 48 nations on 5 continents, including Mexico, Japan, Ireland, Great Britain. Britain doesn't give a fuck. I can tell you that for a fact.
Yeah.
Well,
France, Spain, Holland,
are we
Belgium,
talking
Germany.
professional? Are you talking something like semi-pro leagues?
It mentioned semi-pro, so
There's semi-pro
I
leagues.
mean,
that doesn't
everywhere.
count.
And
It's
not only
not
that, but,
televised.
like-
Nobody cares.
In this context, it's where are there communities where the general people are going to give a shit about American football?
Exactly.
Here, that's
American
it.
football is too expensive for communities to play. Like, you need equipment for American football, yeah? To play football, legitimate footy, you need a ball and, like, 4 jackets. Like you put the jacket, you make
Just
2
go out there and
goals with a
shit at
jacket
each
each.
other.
Or you do what we used to do, which was like, if we didn't have enough jackets, we played 1-goal football. Like, and you can do that.
Yeah.
You just have the same goalie who's neutral, and you count score.
You can do the same thing with
You didn't
American
even need
football.
4 jackets to make the goal. You needed 2 jackets and a fucking ball. That's why football is so popular, because it has 0 barrier to entry. You don't need armor.
That's why everyone. Yeah, you're right. That's why everyone can play it because you don't need equipment to do it. And you would think like, well, touch football maybe that would work, but it's not. It's not nearly
Nobody
the same
plays
thing.
touch football unless you're 6 years old.
Yeah, American college kids do because enough alcohol. That's a real fun game.
Although to be fair,
no.
we had to stop. We had to start doing tag rugby.
Football. What they play is flag football.
Oh, is that what
drink
they
call it
beer
now?
and
Oh,
beers. I used
Jesus.
to be in some flag football
Yeah.
leagues. That shit is fun as
that's
hell.
what I was
Like, you
referring
drink
to.
a bunch of beers and you go, you don't
Flags
like
hanging out
touch
your
football.
ass. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we had to stop doing real rugby in the UK because of health and safety concerns for kids.
No, come on.
I'm pretty sure some of the public schools still do it because they don't give a
But,
shit. So.
On the topic of the Xbox One again, so one thing I really wanted to know is I enjoy using my Xbox 360 controller on my PC.
I can answer your question because
I
I
know
covered
that
this in
too.
Content Patch today. I know the answer.
And
But don't you
they
count
just announced, the Microsoft representative says the company hopes to roll out the drivers in 2014. Why they spent all the money on the Xbox One and didn't decide to include this at release, I don't know. But the drivers are coming. You just have to wait until 2014. So I'm excited about that because I really think that new controller looks
It
cool.
looks good.
And,
It's a good looking pad.
yeah, it's great. It feels great.
It's also convertible, which is like the 360 and the PS3 pads aren't. If you plug a micro USB cable into the Xbox One controller, it becomes a legitimate wired controller where the data is going across the wire. If you try and do that with a current controller, it doesn't do that. Yeah? You can't plug a wireless controller in with a play and charge kit and have it act like wired. It doesn't work.
Is there an implication there that you can use a wireless controller on your PC, or is
You
that
could do
no,
that
it's still
anyway.
wired?
But you need a dongle for it. You need an adapter.
Right.
a dongle.
It's a dongle. Dongle's a real
dongle.
word, guys. I will not have you mocking
that
it. Come on.
dongle, man.
I've
You
been
need a-
using the
you
word
need a
dongle for a
dingleberry.
very different thing. That's all.
need a
Oh,
dingleberry.
what? No, that's not a real thing. Stop hijacking our words. Fuck. Radical
Dongles.
feminism.
What a dongle.
A dingleberry is quite real.
Oh,
True.
You just made that up.
Also true.
No,
No,
I did not.
dingleberries are real.
Dingleberries are real things. They hang from your butt.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What?
this
That's
is
what
the
they
truth.
are.
The
That's
true
the
facts.
definition.
No one doesn't know this.
Wipe that ass, kids. Wipe that
Wipe
ass.
that ass. Oh, wipe that
Yeah.
ass. Wipe that
'Cause-
ass. Oh,
I don't want no
Drop
dingleberries.
that
I don't want no dingleberries.
trying to drop that duke, girl.
You're both getting replaced with Baker Cat. Fuck you.
Yay! I didn't do something wrong this time.
Oh, sir.
You instigated it.
What? Come on.
Drop that duke.
I just
Trying to
said
drop that duke, girl.
that I don't use the word dongle the way it's supposed to be used.
You gotta wipe that ass. That's my background singer voice.
Xbox
wipe that
One, guys. Xbox
I'm coming out with the new hit
fucking
single
One.
in my Saints Row 4 review. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be live.
Can you sample me going, "Girl, you gotta wipe that ass"?
Girl gonna wipe
that in
that
the song.
ass. Girl gonna wipe that ass.
That's a good sample. Use that, internet.
Okay.
Girl, you gotta wipe that ass.
Please don't do that. A lack of class is happening right now.
All right. Well, Xbox, we're waiting for you to
That's
impress us
suspect.
still, I think. I think we're waiting. We're
No,
waiting for Xbox to impress.
No, I
No,
like to
I mean,
give
they've
credit.
reverted pretty much every bad thing about
I like
the
to
system.
give credit where credit's due. They've reversed all of the fucking pieces of shit policies. I can't think of one thing. The one thing that I don't understand is the family sharing. You could give that back, whatever it was supposedly, because I still have no idea
Yeah,
whether
we still don't know what it
truthful
was.
or whether it was the demo version or whether it was the full thing. I still have no idea, and I think only Microsoft knows that. But you could give us, if you give us that, and you've taken away all this other stuff, like.
Yeah.
You're golden. I mean, the only thing left would be the $100 more
$100
expensive
more, yeah.
to
Because
do
you
the
get that damn
Kinect, but that will never leave. That will never leave.
No, they're not getting rid of that, frankly.
I seriously think they should do that one last thing, family sharing before they launch, and
yeah.
I think that'll get people talking, like one last fucking cannon shot right there before the launch.
Yeah, man, because frankly, the launch lineup for the Xbox One is good.
Yeah, and the launch lineup is arguably stronger
Yeah,
than the
I think
PlayStation 4.
Arguably.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be with timed exclusives or just with legitimate first-party stuff, it is a good launch lineup.
I believe that the launch title is stronger than the PlayStation 4, but I know that is only temporary. Obviously, that's just the way gaming is.
Well, I mean, you know, we can compare them if you like, and we can see, because I don't know if everyone necessarily agrees.
Do we have lists right now?
Yeah, I believe so. Obviously, these things kind of change quite a bit.
Well, obviously, what it has is it's got Dead Rising 3 with the unique, zombies can see you, and they see if you turn your lights on in your room through the Kinect. All that stuff sounds cool. They can know
stupid
your
as
friend.
hell.
No, that is a that is a way that I like using the Kinect. I don't want to be doing this shit because this shit has never worked. I've done it fucking 18 times, and I'm tired
Star
of
Wars.
it. You know, I want
18,
monitoring my heart rate, incorporating it into horror games. I want that kind of shit that's non-evasive, something that I don't have to actively fucking, involve myself in. I want to use my controller and play my fucking game. And if you want to use Kinect to add shit, that's cool.
I like that thing. Joe's right on the money. The fact that it calls you out for turning your light on, that's awesome. That's awesome. Shut up.
How is it
like
stupid? You're adding a new dimension to the gameplay. That's not stupid.
Yeah, but it's completely irrelevant to the game. It's completely irrelevant. If I have to turn the light on because it's fucking dark in my room, or because someone has to come down and get something from the fridge, I don't want that fucking with my game. That's dumb. Come on.
Oh my god, that would actually be really funny.
So
you're like playing the game and somebody comes in and it's like, "Hey, honey," turns on the light, and you're like,
"No!" Yeah.
Fucking bad. I'm under attack, and you're like,
no,
There was a similar thing.
It's like a real zombie apocalypse.
A long time ago, there was a similar thing, I think, with the PC version of Manhunt, whereby it was able to detect, like, if you had a microphone plugged in, it was able to detect loud noises and it would alert people. That was infuriating. Someone turns out the fucking lawnmower outside, and suddenly every psycho's out to kill me with a knife. This is dumb.
Yes. This sounds. Okay. You never know what's going to happen.
Don't do
that.
that.
Other element to the game.
No, it's stupid.
I'm telling you that I'm almost sure it would be retarded. It would be so stupid not to include an option to turn it off.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
So obviously,
it's a dumb optional gimmick. The thing is, it's another gimmicky feature for the Kinect that isn't actually like a legitimate use for it. That's what bothers me. So, should we have a look at these launch lineups? Because I've got a list right here.
All right. Sure.
So the confirmed day one launch lineup as it stands right now, according to the IGN wiki, so you can blame them if they're wrong, is Assassin's Creed 4, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, Dead Rising 3, FIFA 14, Forza, Just Dance, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Lococycle, Madden NFL 25, NBA 2K4, NBA Live 14, Killer Instinct Rise of Rome, Skylander SWAT Force, and Watch Dogs, which leaves, as exclusives, Dead Rising 3, Forza, Killer Instinct, and Rise of Rome, I think. That's it, right?
Right.
And probably Lococycle.
Titanfall, did you do Titanfall?
Titanfall is a launch window title. It's not coming out.
Oh.
The launch window, by the way, is day one until March 2014. That's the launch window. Titanfall is in there along with stuff like The Crew and Project Spark. That stuff is not
like a
day
legit
one
launch title.
It's not legit.
Most of those you can get before launch, though, for Xbox.
Most of them, yes. Yeah, these, like, there's, 4 exclusives on that list, I think? Dead Rising 3. Lococycle is probably an exclusive, because that's a Twisted Pixel game on Xbox Live, which is probably going to be amazing, because Twisted Pixel. Killer Instinct is an exclusive. Rise, Son of Rome is an exclusive. And
that'll be the one
Forza.
that people buy the Xbox One for.
What, Rise?
They'll buy
really?
It for Rise. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus God, I hope not. It doesn't look that great.
Which one?
Rise, Son of Rome.
Also
known as QTE in Rome.
No, here's the thing.
You're wrong.
My name is Quicktimius Aventius.
The system seller in that list is probably Dead Rising 3, not...
For some people. I'd say Forza is a system seller for a lot of people.
Oh, that's a good one, too, yeah.
Yeah, see, the racing market, I don't think is quite as big as the zombie market.
I'm telling you, at Comic-Con, having seen the line for the Rise area, that was insane. People wanted to play that.
Well,
and the
yeah,
people
because they're
playing it-
curious.
Because people have no
what other
idea
game
what
on
it plays like. That's
because what other game on that list is like, oh, this is something kind of new. It's a new IP. Like Forza is not a new IP. Dead Rising is not a new IP, and neither is Killer Instinct.
But the one thing I learned from playing it is that they did themselves a disservice because the guy playing it in the demo that we all saw was so good. He hit all the QTE marks.
Yeah.
In the real game, no one was getting
the guy
it. It was
fucks
like,
up constantly. It like trips
yeah.
over himself.
Your guy's like still murdering people, but he's not getting any of the bonus QTE stuff.
Huh,
So
okay.
I was like, oh, so this isn't actually all
It's
QTE.
not
I
actually
was feeling
QT
like-
the video game. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And I think they screwed themselves over with that video, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, but it looks gorgeous, which is really saying something for technology. I still think is behind what PCs.
Well, of course
I mean,
it is,
It looks
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So-
So do you want me to compare that to the
Dead
PS4
Rising
list?
3 and Rise. Let's take a look. Yeah.
Yep.
At
All right, so the PS4 list goes something like this. You're going to see a lot of things that you heard of before. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, DC Universe Online, Drive Club, FIFA 14, Just Dance, Killzone Shadowfall, Knack, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Madden NFL 25, NBA, the two NBA games, Skylander SWAT Force, Warframe, and Watch Dogs. So that leaves us with exclusives. DC Universe is a console. Actually, I don't even count that because that was on PlayStation 3 as well.
That's
that
not
doesn't
good,
count.
man.
So you got Drive Club, Killzone, Knack, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Knack has the potential. to be
Warframe's a
something
console
that would be big.
exclusive, but it's on PC.
Do you think so? Do you think?
I mean,
Knack
it
would be
has
like
the
a thing?
potential to be like
Knack?
one of those.
Really?
It has the potential to be like one of those games. It's like,
So far, it's not looking that good. I gotta say.
No.
That's what I'm
That's
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't
probably
think
the
it will
dumbest
be,
thing.
but I feel like it has like that sort of like gimmicky thing that the kids will just eat up. I think it looks like garbage. I'll never play it, but whatever. I mean, Drive Club having sex with your car game is the
Infamous
best.
is not a launch title, by the way, guys. Like, if Infamous actually was a launch title and not a launch window game, then I think that would crush. Like, Infamous is better than every
absolutely.
exclusive on
Okay.
any of those lists by an order of fucking magnitude. If that was a launch game, and I have no doubt they tried to push to get it there, then that would have been an entirely different ball game, but it's not.
Really not. I haven't played any of the infamous games. I played the prototype
Second
games.
Son
so I
looks
can't-
incredible. It's the... And far as
All
I'm
the
concerned-
trailers have seemed pretty lame.
Seriously?
To me.
Second
Yeah.
Son to me like looks legitimately next generation, whereas most of these other games really don't. Like the actual particle effects, the special effects, and the way that the world reacts to your superpowers.
So
looks
they've
to
got
me
gameplay videos
incredible.
out already. For
Yeah,
them.
yeah, it's out. Like there's
Okay, I
legitimate
gotta check-
gameplay footage of this.
I gotta
I'll
check that
find
out.
some for you.
But it's not a day one title, so if
No,
you
it's not.
dismiss Forza, then let's dismiss Drive Club. And so what do we got left? Knack and Killzone. Knack and Killzone versus Dead Rising 3
And Rise.
Yeah.
And I'm
Which
telling you,
one?
No,
I
that's
still think
surprisingly equal. That's
Yeah,
But I still think the offering-
I have no interest in Knack. I mean, I would go for Killzone Shadowfall there. And on the Xbox side, I'd say I'm sort of interested in both and just seeing what they're like. I mean, the crappy thing about Dead Rising 3 is it almost seems as if they got rid of some of the humor and the comedy and the sort of quirkiness of the
degree.
series to
Yeah,
get
to
more
some degree.
gritty and real. I'm really concerned about that, but they were like, no, that stuff
We've
is
totally
still
got
there.
that stuff, yeah. The concern that I've got is that they don't get what was really cool about it. I get, we put lightsabers and armor and stupid heads in it, so we're still the same Dead Rising. Yeah, but like your whole setting and your character and everything is way
That's
more
the
gritty,
key.
dude, bro.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter how many Mega Blasters you put in, it's still gonna be dude, bro, in that respect. And I think it's gonna have this weird clash to it. Whereas the Dead Rising was weird. Like, it wasn't wacky, it was fucking weird. There were some really fucked up characters in that game. The whole setting, like the first one being in a mall, left all sorts of great possibilities for wacky hijinks. And the second one was basically in a fake Vegas, which was perfect. And then the other one is in some town thing. I just don't think there's I just don't think that's it. I don't think there's as many opportunities for weird, wacky hijinks in that setting.
Okay, that infamous footage is actually pretty badass.
There's a lot of
I
destruction.
mean, I don't
There's
like
really
that
good
character
particle
design
effects.
at all. Like, I don't like I hope you could change his clothes and just the way he looks
probably
completely
can.
because I don't
Oh,
like
that's
that
sort of
look.
like I am clearly from Seattle look. Like, that's what that look is. It's like I'm from 1999 Seattle. I don't know.
The fucking draw distance in that game is surprisingly impressive from looking at it. Like, it's...
He's going to whip out a skateboard at any moment and start grinding on those rails right there.
Yeah,
well,
girl.
I mean, Infamous 2 had rail grinds.
That'd be
so
awesome,
actually.
They should think about including that.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
It's surprising that they went with a more realistic look, considering Infamous 1 and 2 were a little bit kind of graphic novel-esque in terms of their aesthetic style, but... Frankly, I mean, this does look like the best thing that PS4's got to offer within the launch window before March 2014. But it isn't a launch title, and if it was, I think that it would be a clear winner. As it stands, funnily enough, now seeing how many of these games are actual launch window games, not launch titles, can I just say the launch lineup fucking sucks for both consoles? Because it kind of does.
To be traditionally, launch lineups have sucked. I read an article that actually went back and showed us the launch titles for a lot of the systems, and I was like, wow, these things suck.
A lot of them kind of do.
Being that bad.
I will say, though, PlayStation 2, the only launch game I got for that was Dynasty Warriors 2. And that is what started me on my epic obsession with that franchise.
Yeah.
Because it was the only game I could play on a PlayStation 2. So I played it nonstop to the point where now I have to buy every single one, even though it's the exact same game.
What I will say about PS4, by the way, is that it does have a strong free-to-play launch lineup for those who don't own a PC or a powerful enough PC to run it. They will have, like, PlanetSide 2... which I'm not sure if that's launch. No, that's not launch. That's launch window. But they will have Warframe on launch, which is fucking great, and DC Universe, which is also great. And they've got, it's like, hey, look, all right, maybe we don't have a great launch lineup, but if you don't have a PC, we got these two games that you can kind of get your teeth into. You don't have to pay for them. This is cool, right?
And DC Universe is not a bad game. I mean,
no,
it
it's
gets
not.
stale after a while.
It's way better now than it used to be. It is a good MMO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to revisit that. Isn't that free to play now?
Yeah, it's free to play now. I really need to do the same thing because I enjoyed my time with DC Universe. I thought that was a genuinely cool game, and I'd love to go back to it at some point when I get the time. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like lineup-wise, you've still got these strong titles like Battlefield 4. I think it's going to come down to the fact that some people are going to buy this system so they can get the next gen on Call of Duty, Battlefield 4, and Assassin's Creed, yeah? Those are three blockbuster franchises, and of course Watch Dogs. And you're going to want the latest and greatest to play them on, right? But the question is, what do you pick? Because if you look at the other stuff, it's really kind of even, you know? And of course, if you have a PC, you have really no reason to buy this system on launch at all, because all of those games will be better on PC anyway.
Yeah, that's what I figure.
Yeah. As a PC owner, I don't feel compelled to buy either of these consoles on launch. There's no game that really says, you need to own this system so you can play this.
But as a YouTuber, I feel compelled to go and stand in line with the camera and harass people.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I know I'm way behind the times here, but I'm kind of excited I'm finally going to get a Blu-ray player.
What? You don't own one?
Do you not own a PlayStation 3? That's why I bought mine. Is for the Blu-ray.
You actually don't.
PS3.
You do all your stuff on Xbox, don't you?
Why do you think I never review PS3 games? I never bought a PS3.
I've got to ask, is there a reason? Why don't you own a PS3?
Oh, well, I was poor as fuck, and I didn't have the money. And then when games started to come out, you had basically all the games coming out in they were multi-platform, except for a few exclusives. Yeah. And I was already so swamped with work. I had no bandwidth left to do anything else. Yeah. Covering PC, covering indies and Xbox Live Arcade and the Xbox titles. Everything that I could have time for or had time for was on those. But I feel so fucking bad, and I cannot wait to get my hands on The Last of Us, because it's what everybody's been asking me to review, and I really want to play that game, but
they've been asking me to review it.
I don't think you can play it on the
Jesus.
PlayStation 4. I don't think it's going to be.
No, there's no backwards compatibility on either. I'm going to ask, do you feel that the lack of backwards compatibility on these systems is actually going to harm adoption rates, legitimately speaking?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, god damn it. Do I have to explain like I'm 5? All right.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please,
Jesse,
you don't know what that means.
All right, Jesse.
No, I mean,
All right.
You know what that means. Shut up. All right. I do think it
shit.
harms.
Fuck you.
I do think it harms, but last generation didn't really have that either. So
PS3
I mean,
at least
it was
the
pretty
first generation
shoddy.
of them did.
At first it did.
Yeah,
it was pretty shoddy, and then they kind
the
of
fat
gave up
ones
on
with
it.
the emotion engine were perfectly compatible. The problem is the Xbox One was shoddy as fuck. You're right, because it was like software wrapper emulation or something.
They basically did research. I don't know how valid it is, but I think it was Microsoft or somebody came out and said, you know what? I think it was like a 2 to 3% of our user base is actually using this shit. And so
I
they
don't know
made
if they
a business
legitimately
decision.
know that. Like, they would have had to be
Apparently-
online for that statistic to be tracked. And let's be honest, like the online user base was very small at the start.
Yeah,
of 360's
I don't
life.
know the
I don't know.
valid did. I don't know if those numbers are valid. I would. What really bothers me is not transferring digital titles like your Xbox Live Arcade game.
Yeah, definitely.
That is fucking bullshit.
So, I've just been bombarded with a bunch of messages
Okay.
in regards to emulation. Apparently, this is a thing now that because it's the new consoles are using the x86 architecture.
Yes, they are. It's a different architecture entirely.
That emulators are going to be much easier to do, and making ROMs of games will be like it will be happening like crazy. Because of
I was reading about that actually.
There is a claim, but bear in mind you're still talking about raw horsepower for a lot of this stuff. Like, even if it's a different architecture, you will still need, if you want to say emulate a PS4, you are going to need so much horsepower that it's not going to be physically possible for quite some time, I would imagine. There is certainly a possibility of it, because, yeah, it's an x86 chipset, which is what PCs run on.
Wouldn't a PC be able to do that? Because
that's what
theoretically, but, I mean, how much lockdown are they going to have on that? I mean, it's going to be pretty fucking difficult, I have to imagine.
I have to feel like that's something that they're considering when they're thinking about ways to, like, keep stuff on their systems, and how they're being very, like, we have to up security and stuff. Because, admittedly, the internet's like, oh, this is just easier now. We can do this much easier.
As someone
Right
accurately
now-
pointed out, you can. The thing about emulation, right, is you're emulating an instruction set that's not the same as the one that you have, which means that you usually have to crunch really hard to make it happen. The x86 64 instruction set is the same as a PC's instruction set. So theoretically, it would be a fuckload easier, I think. But, as people are pointing out in the chat, you still have to emulate the hardware, you still need the raw horsepower to do it, and then you need to crack whatever batshit encryption they happen to have on their new games.
There's some guy on Pirate Bay
And
right
at
now
any
who's
time you can be detected. You will void your warranty. You'll be kicked off of Xbox Live. You'll be kicked off of.
Well, you
PSN.
won't if all you're doing is emulating emulating 360 games on a PC. They can't do that.
They can't detect you that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they'll probably do a bunch of title updates and firmware updates, which consistently break everything.
Yeah.
And it took them so long to break the PlayStation 3's code and things like that, and even then, piracy on PS3 is fairly low in comparison to everything else. I'm sure they're going to bring out some fucking heavy grade shit to stop that from happening.
I'm telling you right now, there are just dudes on the Pirate Bay waiting.
That most
just
of the
waiting
time,
for the chance.
That most of the time, why even bother? Because most of these games are going to be multi-platform anyway. Even stuff like Titanfall, which is a Xbox One exclusive, is also coming out for PC. So it's like, why bother emulating? I just run the better version right here. It's great.
Well, somebody's going to do it because that's their pastime. That's their
totally,
passion. That's
totally,
what they
yeah,
like to do. But the first one that comes out is going to be filled with fucking Trojans, and it's going to destroy your system. It's going to
Probably,
destroy your
yeah.
computer. So I would recommend don't do that shit. That's illegal, and I'm sure they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to do it. I'm just saying that, like, people, I've never seen so many
might
people
happen.
excited about it. They're like,
I'd love
don't you
to
understand
know
what this means? It's like
The technical side of things.
Yeah,
I really would.
Wow.
I mean, I've got loads of people kind of sending me all sorts of things here. They're claiming basically because the PS4 runs a modified version of Linux, there's no need for emulation. You can dump the OS from the console and just directly run it on a PC. So basically, like kind of like a Hackintosh, I guess. Some people also, of course, pointing out that Gaikai is there for backwards compatibility. That's not really the same thing. Gaikai is a streaming service. What they're promising eventually is the ability to stream...
Go on.
That's Microsoft. They're there for you. Run, Dodger.
Dodger, why didn't you get your guns? What's happened? You're armed, dangerous. Excellent. Some people point out Gaikai. Gaikai is supposed to be providing streaming, cloud-based gaming for older titles eventually. Yeah?
Right, it's
And
not
also,
even available at launch.
Yeah,
so.
and they're certainly not suggesting, oh, all of your old PS3 games, don't worry. You just send us your, like, fucking serial key and we'll give you a version. They won't do that. That's not going to happen. The best you can expect is, I think, to get a selection every month on PlayStation Plus, which I think is, is pretty good time. So, No, Gaikai is not backwards compatibility. That's not the same thing. That's just like saying PS2 classics on PlayStation Store are backwards compatible. No, they're not. They're individually ported over.
Do we already know about your avatars? Like, the other day we were talking about how at Wolverine they were giving away free codes so you could get like the claws on your avatar, and I was like, is that gonna work on Xbox One? Like, am I
I
gonna
think
get
so. Avatars do. Also, avatars will also reflect how fat you are in real life, so, you know.
Right, because you could do full body HD gamer pics with the Kinect now. So
yes, you can. So
you can convert yourself into a digital avatar, which
it works so
all
well
of the things
on
I
the
don't want to
3DS.
do. God.
It works great on the 3DS. I think we should keep doing that.
You know, the one of the coolest things that I really enjoyed that Xbox and Microsoft just fucking said, screw it, we don't care about it anymore, was the original Xbox Live camera. It looked like this, sort of. It was a little piece of crap, but I liked it because Rainbow Six Vegas, I think it was, allowed you to scan your face and you could put your face in the game, and for a game like that, I thought that was fucking awesome. And I never really got to see that shit again. I mean, I think EA uses some of its technology in, what is it, maybe FIFA, golf, and possibly the new Madden, but now with the Kinect on, you know, basically on every single system, hopefully they plan to, you know, not let that fall by the wayside and actually utilize it for people that want to. I know TB wasn't interested, but when I create myself in RPGs, it takes me so long to customize my guy because I like to create my face in, you know, Skyrim and stuff like that. And sometimes I can't really get it the way I want it. So I think it would be great if they made that shit fucking standard on Xbox One, utilizing the Kinect, basically face scan technology standard across all games that have a customization option. That would really be a nice selling point for the system.
Bunch of other interesting replies about the emulation thing. Apparently, x86's instruction set has still not been successfully emulated, and Xbox One uses a completely different set of DirectX instructions, which means that, in theory, running it probably wouldn't be as easy as you think. So, I don't know. I mean, it's an intriguing idea, but I have a feeling that none of us are smart enough to truly understand what would be required to actually make that happen. So, yeah, it's probably best that we avoid that kind of discussion. Admittedly, it is an interesting debate.
And I'm pretty sure when you scan your body, you can change your athletic type. So if you want to make yourself, you know, thin or a bodybuilder, you can do so.
I'm fairly sure you can. It's hardly going to restrict you in that respect, I would imagine. Yeah. But I want to go around the room and ask exactly, so, if you could only get one console at launch, which one would you get? Starting with Dodger. And why?
Probably... It seems like, for the most part, the games are going to be coming out for PS4 and possibly Vita. Like, there will be a Vita version of a lot of these games, it seems like.
Okay.
So, even though I love PlayStation, and my inclination is to say PlayStation 4, I might want to get an Xbox One if I could only buy one and could never get the other.
Because you think that you have access to the games
to more games
via a Vita version, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. The funny thing is, I would kind of say the opposite, because I own a Vita, which I know is a companion device for the PS4, and they're pushing a lot more of that. If I could only get one, it would make sense for me to get the PS4, because I could utilize my Vita in a wider variety of ways. And I also feel that Killzone is probably a stronger launch title than Rise, and I would probably, especially considering it's probably Move compatible at the start, which is how I played Killzone 3, and I had a whale of a time doing it, by the way. I played Killzone 3 with Move in 3D, which was actually kind of great. I got to admit, that was pretty cool. So I would probably go with the PS4. The other stuff like Kinect and privacy concerns are not really a factor to me. I've got like 5 cameras on me at all times anyway. I don't give a shit. So, Jesse?
You know what? I mean... all Xbox problems aside, I think their launch titles, for me, I just like them better. I'm gonna get both anyway, but I'll probably, if I had to choose, it'd be an Xbox, just because I like those launch titles more. I've never been a fan of the Killzone franchise, and everything else you can get anywhere else anyway. So I you know what? As a history nerd, I like the concept of Rise, so I'm in, and I'll Xbox is what I'd say.
Okay, Joe?
Well, I have been an Xbox veteran for pretty much all, ever since the original Xbox came out. And I've never bought a PlayStation, never bought a PlayStation 2 or 3. So, but this is actually where it basically comes down to, I'm a big advocate of putting your money where your mouth is. And I like everything that PlayStation has done with their new console. It's been very gamer-centric. It seems as if Xbox is sort of, tailoring to different market, trying to bring in more of the mainstream crowd, and it's almost role reversal. It feels like the PlayStation 4 will be the Xbox 360 of the last generation.
Gamer-centric, yeah.
Gamer-centric, focusing on that kind of stuff. Very indie-friendly, all that kind of stuff.
That's a fair
And the
point.
Xbox One is going more for, aggressive towards Apple, aggressive towards Wii U, aggressive towards those kinds of markets, and television.
Room, right? Yeah.
And so and plus, I come from a unique perspective that I've never owned a PlayStation, and now that they've done this and really impressed me in that way, and Microsoft royally fucked it up and pissed me off. Yes, they've reversed all their policies, and had they kept all their policies, I would not fucking buy an Xbox One. I wouldn't buy it. But they reversed everything. So because, my job is reviewing games, I'm going to get both. But if I was forced to get one, I would get the PlayStation 4 just because basically of their gamer-centric passion. They've learned from their mistakes. It seems like they're going to apply that. And then, like I said, I've always been Xbox, and so I'm interested in sort of Sony's first-party studios that I've really never got to experience. Naughty Dog, The Last of Us, these kinds of games, and Killzone, and all the others that I've really never gotten an opportunity to play. So I kind of want to see what's happening on that side of things. So I would choose the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One, but I'm getting both.
Now, was this choice predicated on the fact that long-term, or just at launch? Because at launch, I think Xbox has more to offer. Long-term, PlayStation by far has more.
I agree with that.
Those are the two differences. At launch, Xbox I think wins because personally I think they have better games. But long-term, by the end of quarter one, I feel like PlayStation's going to be where it's at. Like if you're
you're talking launch window games, basically, at that point.
Launch window rather than just day one.
It seemed like the games in the pipeline for the PlayStation 4,
are much better.
Well, let's be honest, Octodad Dadliest Catch will make its way to PlayStation Network within that launch window, so
yes,
that's the only reason you would ever need to pick up a PlayStation 4, quite frankly.
It's true.
The hilarious thing as well is that they're making a new fucking Primal Carnage game for PlayStation to rival the Killer Instinct one.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Cool. You used to pick up little dudes and fucking eat them for health. Oh man, I love that game. If we're talking about the right game, it was a fighting game, correct? And
yes, yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Give it. God damn it.
Now, when am I going to get my remake of Time Killers? If anybody has heard of that fucking game where limbs would fall off and you had this mantis. Nobody, you've heard of it?
Go away.
Shit is fucking crazy. They used to have that.
She only gave you the white side, man. That
Racist.
chocolate side of that cookie needed to be eaten. Jenna.
It's ruined.
What happened to you? You used to be cool.
This was chat instigated, wasn't it? I can guarantee it. Fuck.
Lol.
Yeah. This may have been for the sausage reference earlier, I don't know, but...
It's for the sausage reference.
It's for the sausage reference.
It's for the sausage.
Why is there another one? Oh my god, that woman she's got cookies throwing it. Oh my god.
Time to go to a break. Someone obviously needs attention. When we come back, we'll hopefully have less fucking cookies. See you there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to the Co-Optional podcast.
We haven't messed that up at all today.
No, we haven't. That's actually kind of surprising. We're eventually getting into the rhythm.
I've been too tired to fuck your shit up. I need sleep.
What is with this lack of sleeping with you, man? It's insane. It's like, yeah, I've had about half an hour's sleep. I couldn't physically function if that were the case.
I don't know how I don't know how I do it, but I do it. I just drink a lot of energy drinks and shit. Come on, TB. You had to have some real fucking late nights where you have to finish what you're doing.
A long time ago, yeah. Like, these days, no, fuck that.
No.
One day, Joe will just burn out and be like, you know what? F
Probably.
it.
How old are you?
Like, oh, God, fuck, I'm not going to do what everybody thinks I'm
How
gonna
old
do.
are you, Joe?
Look out!
Joe, the age.
Yeah.
What is it?
I
Focus.
don't know. I stopped counting. I think it was like I'm 27 or 28, one of those.
Yeah, so you're only like
So,
slightly
what-
younger than me.
Oh, what an old man. What an old man. He's
Says
gonna
Jesse,
die.
31 years of age.
You stop counting after like 22, 21. You don't
Well,
care.
your birthdays just kind of suck after that point, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
Right, once you hit 21, after that, it really is just counting till you're dead.
No,
You have
30 is
no-
my goal.
30?
30's the goal for me.
I
right now.
asked
Well,
my little half brother's like, how old are you, man? He's like 18. I'm like, what the fuck? I was holding you. You were a baby. You were this big. What the fuck? 18? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, it makes me feel
You're
so.
choking the kid. You're just like, I was holding you like this once. Ah!
Just
Ooh.
needs to get to 30, then she'll be barren and dead inside. So
The fuck?
That's the goal.
It's a big
I guess
grin.
I guess just gotten used to a lack of sleep over the past. Holy shit!
What?
Okay. Sorry, I'm watching the stream and I just saw something weird.
Sorry, I was bringing up a spreadsheet and he decided, you know what, I want to be the other monitor. I'm like, no spreadsheet! What the hell are you doing?
No.
Is that like all your finances and shit?
No.
Okay.
Actually, it's a list of all the subscribers because I want to try and thank them at the end of the show. But do you want to know who our first ever subscriber to the channel was? I can tell you.
Tell
It was
us.
Beef Chief 3 in 2011. He subscribed.
Beef Chief 3.
Beef Chief 3.
Can I have
He
like
probably
a
doesn't pay anymore, I would imagine.
It's
but-
like I'm your friend and stuff.
Never know.
Ironically, Beef Chief died of heart failure from eating too much beef.
That's terrible.
I mean, he was the chief.
How
He was the
dare
chief
you.
I mean,
Beef.
yeah. He was the beef
He
chief.
died doing what he loved.
Good on him.
Okay with
eating
that.
beef.
All of the beef.
So tired.
Okay, let's do releases, shall we? Let's go and have a look and see what's on the release
Yes.
schedule for
No,
this
fuck
week.
you.
Sure. Oh.
I'm just trying to derail the
You
show.
don't get to own me. You're not my real mother.
My old derailing tactics.
They're just
just
weak
to say
sauce
no.
compared-
Like, no. I won't do that.
No.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye.
All right, US releases for today. Integrand Strategy, Europa Universalis 4 is hitting Linux and PC today. That will be available. Joe, you know a lot about Paradox games. Tell us about Europa Universalis 4.
Well, I love strategy games, and this is one of those grand strategy games. That's what I know about it, and they're real proud of the grand strategy games over there. It's developed, I think, internally at Paradox, I want to say.
Yeah,
And,
that stuff is, yeah.
internal Paradox. They do a real freaking good job. And as you know, some of the other companies, sometimes have bugs and stuff. But internal, they're real solid. If you love strategy,
Generally.
you'll love that game. However, it doesn't have all the bells and the the unit animations and shit of like a Total War. But in place of that, what you get is real deep strategy. We're talking fucking details out the ass, okay? Anything you want to recreate in history, you pretty much can in this game. So, and I was gonna check it out, but it's one of those games you gotta sit down and have a good amount of time for. Okay?
Yeah.
Not one of those, I can play this thing in an hour. No, it's gonna be an epic quest.
Yep, there's an awful lot when it comes down to that game. I've never really got into a Grand Paradox strategy, honestly, because
It's an acquired taste. It does really well in the international market. We're talking in the European Union countries. They fucking love that shit. And a lot of the things that they've added sound really freaking interesting. It's just I haven't yet pulled that trigger to go from this lover of strategy, bells and whistles and unit animations and shit to the really deep stuff where, I haven't
totally.
made that conversion yet.
Indeed.
I don't have the brain for that. Like, I need there to be like stuff making it real interesting and flashy for me, and easy mode.
I could probably get into it given enough time. I can imagine that I would be able to deal with that, but I just do not have the motivation.
Yeah, exactly. I like some of their other games that they've heard in the grand strategy. I wanted to try out because like you play out modern wars and you have stacks of units and you can use like nuclear shit. I forget what game that one was called where it goes to different DEF CONs, and there really isn't a whole lot of games
It's not
like
DEF
that.
CON, is it?
No. I was about to say there are not a whole lot of games like that except for DEF CON, and I'm looking
Paradox
for
didn't do
sort of
that
a
one, right?
strategy game that
There
no, I think
was. I can't remember what it was called.
East versus West.
There was like it was global something, and it was really not very good at what it did. But it like let you play any nation on Earth, and like had realistic military forces for them and things like that. I can't remember what it was called though. It wasn't very good, whatever the case. But yeah, try again. Europa Universalis for Linux and PC, August 13th, that being today. DuckTales Remastered, Wii U, PlayStation 3, PC, and PS3 also today. Getting mixed reviews, I have to say, on this one.
DuckTales is?
It is.
Interesting.
Why would it get mixed reviews?
Because
if it's just a remake.
Because it's just a remake.
Because it's no.
They were expecting whole new levels.
I was gonna say.
No, I think they expected maybe like more modern game mechanics that weren't terrible. I think that's the main problem that some people have with it.
Oh, they misremembered how gaming used to be or something. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know if it's that. Like, I just feel that a lot of the DuckTales hype is very much based on deep nostalgia.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
And one of the problems that I had with it is that they tried to add so much to the game that it holds the game back. Like, they added cutscenes, they added, like, talking and things
Voice acting
that interrupt your actual gameplay. And you're like, I just want to play. I don't need to pause every time I find a damn coin. Right? Like, there's a bunch of things in there that
Apparently hand-holding is a big issue.
Oh, they added a bunch. It sounds like they added a shit ton then. And you're saying all the additions hold you back from the game.
For me, there's a lot of things that you're like, oh, it's Launchpad, and oh, there's magic in the spell. Like, it's a lot of nostalgia, but then they added things to it to make it, like, updated and make all the story rounded out and give it a legit story.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's like, where's the gameplay? I've just watched, like, a minute of terrible cutscene. Oh, he's got it out again. He just put his walkie-talkie away and just got the walkie-talkie out again and kept talking.
That's what I'm saying.
Shut up and play the video game.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are hard to please. If they leave it alone, the game sucks because it was just nostalgia and the
More
gameplay
cutscenes. God,
but
let's
if they
skip
add
forward.
shit,
Can I see that? Finally, there's some game. No, that's a cutscene as well. Never mind.
Honestly, I feel like
Cutscenes.
a lot of this is that weird, like, George Lucas mentality of, like, if only we could make it better and capitalize on it. And it drives me crazy because, like, when you hear, like, Square re-releasing Final Fantasy games, like, just stop. It was fine. You got it right the first time, or you didn't. Stop. I don't need to play Final Fantasy IV on every single platform ever. You know what? I'm fine. We're good.
We've played it already. Good. Yeah.
Stop changing the graphics and it.
This was raw gameplay, by the way. This was about 4 solid minutes of cutscenes that I had to skip through there in order to actually. It's DuckTales. We don't need cutscenes, guys. Really.
What?
We
don't need cutscenes in a lot of games. We certainly don't need it in fucking DuckTales. I think maybe for a lot of people they have different expectations, and if you just want a remake of DuckTales, then yeah, cool. But I think maybe some people are looking to find out what all the fuss is about because they never played the original, and they probably won't like it.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's going to happen. You have to have played the original to like this. Mm-hmm. Which is weird because
it's kind of fine, or is it? Is that fine?
I don't know.
It's fine with me. Oh, Mrs. Beakley! Oh!
You are the target demographic.
Well, the problem is that I couldn't, like, this right here would just annoy me because it would just take too damn long. Like,
there's a lot of... I mean, obviously, I think you can skip through some of this dialogue because this is being played by the devs, so they're probably showcasing everything, but that's a lot of interruption that's happening in the gameplay there that wasn't in the original.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, in the original, you played, and then you saw things like, oh, that's cute, I saw it on the show. This is like, hey, remember this character? It's in this game now. Guys, remember? It's like, oh my god. We remember. It drives me crazy.
Also, apparently the devs are really bad at their own game, just as an FYI. Oh, man. Yeah,
I'm just wondering, was there like a huge like clamoring for like remake DuckTales?
No, there wasn't.
Or could there have been some other games that like need some remakes,
Well, I mean,
or that
DuckTales
we'd like to
is
see sequels to?
regarded as a very good NES game. Like, in the terms of
Oh, okay.
NES platformers, it is regarded as a good one.
Okay, I never played the video game, so
I didn't play
I didn't
NES. I know I never owned an NES, so I don't know. But my
Really?
impression of it is that most people liked it at the time.
Yeah, and for a child of the '90s, that was like that was like '89, '90. That was like your franchise. DuckTales, Rescue Rangers,
Darkwing Duck,
Tailspin,
fucking
Darkwing
Tailspin.
Duck.
Tailspin.
Yeah.
Aw.
Disney had it on lockdown, and those were the games you played. And like that game is still one of the best, like one of the best Nintendo games there was. And I just
Give me Quackshot. That's all I want.
I
Just
just-
give me Quackshot. It was way better.
I just thought there were other games out there that Capcom fans wanted, like, obscure ones. Earthbound.
Earthbound got
Phantasy
re-released. They just
Star.
didn't HD it.
Yeah.
That wasn't the Capcom game, then, right? Earthbound was Square, yeah.
I was about to say, was that a
Well,
Capcom game?
yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, I'm talking about other obscure franchises. You can get into other ones like, Psychonauts or something like that. But I guess it's nostalgia, and if it was a good NES game, then I guess they can reach into their archive and remake that one. It's just
I would take.
it seemed like it came out of left field for me.
I would be all about supporting and hyping up a re-release, like upgraded Super HD version of Beyond Good and Evil. That would be amazing. That would be a terrific
I've never
game.
played that game, and I've heard
Game's
a
so
lot
good.
of people really
It's
enjoy that game.
fantastic.
Phenomenal
Oh
game.
yeah.
That's the one with the pig and a lady
Yes.
with green lips.
Yes,
That's the
it
only
is.
thing I know about it. People are probably like,
That was
"Oh,
that
fuck
was
you,
the
Joe.
no, that was the
I'm
cover.
gonna murder
Yeah, that's
your
cover
ass."
art. You know what that was?
That was
Yep,
the
the pig
cover,
and the
yeah.
lady with the green
That was
lips.
the cover.
Yep.
That's all I knew about it.
Widely
man.
regarded as one of the best female protagonists in video games ever. You know,
And
so-
no
Really?
one, like hardly anyone played that game. Yeah,
nobody
So I feel
played
like that's a game to re-release because that's a lot of hype, especially over the last
Well,
few weeks.
I thought they were working
Where
on
the
a sequel
feminist
to that.
leads?
I don't know about
yeah,
re-releasing it.
they've been off and on that for years though. Like we still don't know if it's actually coming out. It might not. But anyway, yes, DuckTales currently available. I think that's going to set you back. Woohoo, indeed! I think that's setting you back $15 or your regional equivalent. So if you want $15 in nostalgia, all right. What else do we have? Payday 2 is out. Yep, that is now out. Apparently, it's suffering a bunch of launch day jitters, it would seem.
Oh no.
Yeah. it's-
Glitches
Wait,
and shit?
like glitches or
Yeah. Inability to log in.
Game-breaking bugs?
Lots of crashes.
No.
Stuff not
Sick and
saving.
tired.
Yeah.
Sad.
So that's a thing.
Here's the thing: it worked just fine in beta. I don't game day. Game day's the worst.
It is. Yeah, it's a big thing. But you might want to hold off on that if you're not like super psyched about Payday and you didn't pre-order it. You might want to hold off a couple of days until everything gets smoothed out a little bit because losing progress in that game would be very frustrating, I would imagine. What else is coming out? If you have a PlayStation Vita, you can enjoy the wonders of Evolution Freemium, Fruit Ninja, Open Me, and Amen.
Yep, that's it.
Those are 4 games that are coming to the PlayStation Vita for some reason. Amen is the only interesting looking one, in my opinion. It's kind of... They market it as a cross between Lemmings and Lost Vikings. It looks like it might be entertaining. So, yeah, that's a possibility. So that's stuff that's out today. On the 15th of August, we do have Gone Home for PC, which is getting some hype behind it. I'm not...
I don't know that I've heard of that.
I'm not 100% sure what it is. Like, it's when I read up on it, it said it's
I'm gonna Google it.
You explore a house. That's kind of what they said. It's
Whoa,
like,
whoa, whoa,
what
what
is it?
is-
Survival horror game? Is it? And
I've heard
it's like,
weirder premises, so...
Want me to
know,
read
like-
the plot?
Yes, please.
In the summer of 1995, a young woman named Caitlin Greenbrier visits her family's new home after having lived overseas for a year. Arriving late at night, she finds the house deserted and a cryptic note attached to the door. She begins to search the house for clues as to what happened to her parents and younger sister.
Yep.
That's
It's-
it.
That's an okay premise. That's an okay premise for a game.
Yeah, it's by a company called Fulbright, who have a bunch of ex-devs from XCOM, Bioshock 2, and Bioshock Infinite involved in it. So,
Oh, cool. first-person explorer too.
Yeah,
and
first-person
that's
explorer
cool.
house game, basically.
I didn't know it was first-person explorer. Sort of like, but it's not horror elements. It's more, mystery adventure.
Like a mystery game, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems like there's most likely some creepy elements to it. I'd imagine it seems like it would make
Creepy?
sense, but yeah.
More of an investigation, like detective. I want a detective sort of game. I wanted to see those elements in Batman Arkham. Those elements expanded.
What date does that game come out?
That actually comes out in 2 days, so that's coming out on the 15th of August. If you're watching the VOD, it should be out by now. You can check that one out. Incidentally, by the way, those commenting there was an HD re-release of Beyond Good and Evil. Yes, but it only looked as good as the PC version anyway, so it made no real difference. They
More
didn't do
obscure
much.
games.
They did not do much
most,
upgrading on that at all. So
trying to think of the most obscure games.
2 more PC releases on August the 15th. Space Hulk is coming out. That I am cautious about that.
I love the board game, but I'm very concerned. Like, I think it's Full Control Studios, something like that.
They
People
don't have
I've never
the
heard
best
of.
rep.
So I really, and I've seen some of the graphics. They look rather poor, but graphics aren't everything. I will play it.
Totally
I
not.
will see how it plays. Just because I'm a huge Games Workshop fan, and I loved the Space Hulk board game. That
Holy
shit is
shit.
very expensive
Apparently
on
there's a
eBay.
Space Hulk mod for Left 4 Dead. That sounds incredible. It's probably awful. We'll see. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds cool.
That sounds like that's an amazing game to mod for that. That's perfect. God, I want to see that.
Damn, man, they're getting elaborate over there in that community.
I want to
That's
see
pretty
that.
cool. But for this particular game, it's a strategy game. It's not, like an action game. It's like
it's an
sort of like
interpretation of the board
XCOM kind
game.
of thing, and I like that. I was excited to play it on my iPad. I'm not sure if I would pay the $40 or something it is on the
It's
PC.
$30, I think,
$30.
which is not entirely unfair. But it does look. It looks like a very. From what they seem to be marketing it as, it seems like a very straight port of the board game, which is very similar to Cyanide Blood Bowl. Let's just hope it's not as bad as Cyanide Blood Bowl. As we can all very much relate.
We love hate. We love hate.
Yeah, so we'll see. I was told by their PR that there won't be any review codes available until launch. That's generally a warning sign, but you can't necessarily say so, yeah? All I'm saying is that a lot of games that have been like that have unfortunately kind of sucked, but we'll see. I'm hoping that's not the case.
But it is a smaller studio, and that does, sort of affect it a bit.
Hey, I get review codes all the time from small studios.
Actually,
way
no,
smaller than this,
I will take that back. That's idiotic because
that's not a good
Camel
reason.
101 gave me review codes of their RTS, Space RTS, was just awesome, and so no, you're right.
I'm a bit concerned about it. We'll see. We'll see. As a big 40K, I wouldn't call myself a fan of 40K fucking fanatic that just absorbs everything 40K related. I am severely concerned that this might not be very good, but we'll see.
Yeah, see, here, one more thing, DB, is that I think there's a market for Games Workshop video game adaptions, and I know GW
totally.
really wants to sort of expand that, and I
Yes,
was
they do.
excited to
Yeah.
hear they were like, we're going to do a lot more of these, and then I started seeing the companies, and I was like, but why? Why aren't you going with some of the other companies?
Well, I mean,
like,
they gave it to Relic, and Relic did a stellar job.
like Relic,
and
yeah, exactly. Have them work on something new, but
Relic's pretty much nailed it across the board. 40K wise, because then you've got the weird decision about Eternal Crusade going to a dev that doesn't have a really good reputation. We actually have a 40K Dark Heresy pen and paper campaign DM'd by the chief level designer from that company.
Wow.
And he knows his shit. So I feel it's kind of in good hands from a story standpoint. I'm just a bit worried about the technical side of things.
I'm just a little worried about GW's decision making and handing it into some of these different companies.
They are giving a lot of really important IP away to companies that don't really have a big pedigree. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Which is risky, but sometimes it works out well. Sometimes we get some unexpected results. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's going to be out on the 15th. Again, I don't know when I could bring coverage of that because they seem like they're locking the review copies down on that. Worms Clan Wars also makes its way to PC on August the 15th. Has anyone even bothered to play that?
No.
I mean,
I
Worms
saw on my
games-
iPad there was Worms 3. But
Yeah, Worms games are pretty fun if you're playing with friends. By yourself, I don't know if there's much appeal.
It's
But
like
if you're,
Spelunky.
there we go,
Kinda.
full circle.
Full circle.
Horribly unfair. There's been enough Worms games, I feel. Like, they went back to the 2D again, and then they did, like, 4 games in the 2D style again. I'm like, okay, guys, we get it. We get it. The 3D was bad. Okay. Can we now not make the same game with, like, classes or more hats or something?
The 18th, kids, Disney Infinity. That is going to make Disney a ton of
Money, apparently.
$1 billion.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Lots of money.
Having hung out with adults at E3, like full-fledged adults, it's basically Skylanders but with Disney characters.
Yeah.
And
you
so
get, like, action figures and shit.
Yeah, and then you put them on the thing, and
Really?
Yep.
I hear that Skylanders and those action figures do pretty well.
Oh,
God,
that's
hugely
super
well.
popular.
So much money.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I openly said, like, when I was at E3, I think this is when Dodger was playing Deadpool. Next to them were the Skylanders people, and I was like, look, I just don't get the appeal of this game. And they're like, here, play it. And they have a new version where you can you can take the action figures and, like, connect different parts of different action figures to make an entirely new action figure.
If I was a kid,
like,
that would be my
That
life.
sounds pretty
Exactly.
That would be my
cool.
fucking
Be like-
life.
I
I've
was
seen it.
blown away
Yeah.
and was like, this, I get it now. I get why kids love this.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
totally.
buy your stuff, but I get why it's doing so
Well,
well.
Dude, I'm still into that shit. I'm still a kid at heart. I wish
Yeah.
it wasn't the Disney license. I wish it was like something like badass. Like
Here's the thing, because
DC or
Disney now
something?
owns everything.
DC.
Because Disney now owns everything. When we were
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
in
Disney
line-
owns Star Wars. Star
and
Wars could
Marvel.
be in Disney Infinity.
So there's this
Just
entire. So we were waiting in line for this thing, and it was literally all these adults waiting to get their little Disney action figure and punching a button to get a random one. And so everyone was like freaking out. It was great. The line was huge. So the potential
That
for that to
technology
become really
is interesting, and it is also
yeah.
a way to milk a huge amount of money out of people.
Fucking genius. The action figures alone, because people want those action figures just separately. They may not even give a shit about the game, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
When you're combining
that's-
cool action figures with a game.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and then the fact that you can take that to the next level. I think the Skylanders people are doing it right now, where you can combine them and make
Oh, God.
2 into 1. And so they were like, well, this
Oh.
guy's a water one, this guy's like a bomb one. So you combine them together. He's a water elemental.
You have
that
to
throws
buy twice
bombs.
the
It's like-
figures.
it's insane.
God.
Well, there's like 3 Johnny Depps. There's like Captain Jack Sparrow, and then like Lone Rangers.
Yeah.
Tonto.
Combine the Johnny
that'd be
Depp
funny
with
if
the
they had,
Johnny
like, the
Depp to
same
make
exact stat.
Combine
Mech-
all the Johnny Depp.
Mecha Johnny Depp.
Oh,
It's
Johnny
Becca
Depp.
Depp. That'd be amazing.
perfect.
And
Deppzilla.
then, can I just say really quickly, on the 19th, there's a game called Hate Plus coming out on PC.
Oh, yes.
Can I just read you the amazing description of this game?
Isn't
because
that a
I
sequel
had
to
it
Analog
myself.
Hate Story?
Yes,
Visual
it's a
novel,
sequel.
right? Yeah.
Here's what it is. A dark visual novel about transhumanism, cosplay, cake baking, and the slow patriarchal erosion of our freedoms taken for granted.
Sounds
description.
yeah.
I was like-
It's by Love Conquers All Games. I mean, there's Analog a Hate Story, and isn't there Digital a Love Story, if I recall correctly? 2 visual novels, and then Hate Plus. It's a Christine Love game.
Sounds insane. I need to play.
It did fairly well, so I'm told. Like, it's supposed to be a good visual novel, if that's what you're into.
I don't understand. Like, how is that a description? So yeah, no, transhumanism and cake baking cosplay. That sounds like a game for me. Like, what? I don't even know. So that comes out the night-
I'm watching the trailer, and I have no idea what's going on. I am going to be entirely honest.
What?
I can't. It looks like you're just planning your calendar.
I don't know what's
On a ship.
on a ship of some sort, yeah, on a
the
generation
Lugapa.
ship. There's some revolution going on.
Oh.
And now the art style's all over the place. I don't know what's happening right now.
Whoa, it's different. Okay.
It's like suddenly it was anime and then it was not. And
Yeah.
like, what?
then
I'm
it
not
was-
sure. Like, I'm intrigued, I got to admit. Because again, analog and
No,
digital.
you're not. Shut the fuck.
No, I'm intrigued. I'm not going to play it, but I'm intrigued by it. You know, it's. The fact of the matter is that both of those games were well received and they did well. So, you know,
Don't worry,
obviously there was
I'll play
something
it for
going
you.
on.
There's,
Yeah, you go play that.
there's a market for graphic novels. I downloaded like this Judge Dredd thing on.
Oh, I did that.
on
That,
mobile.
that Judge Dredd thing's good. I like that.
Yeah,
it's a game
I fucking
book,
think
yeah.
that's cool. If it's anything like that, I
don't
understand
think
why
so.
there's a market for it. Oh, yeah.
No, it's not like that at all.
No, it's not like fighting
it.
fantasy game books. If it was, then yes, it would be amazing. But yeah, the Judge Dredd game book and all the fighting fantasy stuff that's now on iOS is awesome, but this is this is a different kettle of fish entirely.
Okay.
Yes. I believe, if I recall correctly, even though it's not on our release list, by the way, the special edition director's cut of Mark of the Ninja is coming out, which includes the non-lethal level, which is a new thing. So, yeah, you might want to have a look at that. The DLC apparently is going to be like $5, so it might very well be worthwhile. Because Mark of the Ninja is awesome and probably the best stealth game we've had in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Just saying. Make a dab.
Holy fuck. August 20th is packed.
Oh, yeah, August 20th is kind of crazy. I mean, it's obviously in a week, but we can talk about it. I actually won't be here for this, because I'll be on holiday briefly, but... Yeah, the Bureau, XCOM Declassified, PC 360, PlayStation 3, Splinter Cell Blacklist, 360 PC, Wii U, PS3, Saints Row 4, PC 360, PS3, Dive Kick, PC, PlayStation 3.
Yeah, dive kick.
Jesus. I'm so sorry, Dive Kick. That was a bad date for you. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. Am I the only one that thinks that the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell Blacklist commercials look terrible? Like, I think they're like GameStop commercials. It just looks really bad to me. That's not a good way to promote your game.
Is it the one with the guy who's like the terrorist on the TV and he's like, I will kill you, America, and the guy comes up behind him, like he drops behind. Have you seen that one?
Well, no, it might be. Sam Fisher goes and he kills all the dudes behind these two guys talking. Have you seen that one?
That's a GameStop commercial. The real commercial is it's like this terrorist dude yelling at a camera and he's like, I will destroy America, and this guy's like, I do what I do because I'm a fucking badass. And at the end, the terrorist is still yelling, but then Sam like slowly drops down behind him like Spider-Man, like a thing, and then like grabs him and the camera cuts out and like that's the end of the trailer. I was like, that's kind of awesome looking.
No, what I'm saying, I'm sure the real trailers are fucking awesome. I'm just saying, like, if I was the developers of the Tom Clancy,
I would stop allowing GameStop to advertise it in this way.
And I saw this GameStop trailer, which was fucking terrible.
Make terrible commercials. That they really do. Wasn't the one for Injustice that was just awful? Like advertising the 3 Russian kind of Red Sun things that was just cringe-worthily bad. Yeah. Also, it's the same voiceover every time, and I'm pretty sure he gets work voiceovering children's TV commercials as well. It's the same guy with this horrible twang to his voice.
Look. TV. I must have grown up and grown out of it, but I swear to God, I can't watch any TV during the morning on Saturday because it's the exact same voice. Like, kids, do you like shit? We sell shit. Like, what is happening right now?
It's true though.
I don't remember
It's the same voice every time.
I don't remember commercials ever being like that, and now it's just like, buy our shit. It's like, what is happening?
They totally were. They totally were. It was like fucking G.I. Joes, and it was like, it was the same way.
This is definitely not a new thing, I've got to say.
Super Soaker.
But I can't let XCOM just fly by like that. You know,
Bureau,
this was a game I screamed betrayal. That was my friend Spoonie who screamed betrayal, and then I was like, all right, give this game a chance. And it has gone through so many different variations.
Well, yeah,
I mean, what it's
the fact of the matter is that now there's a real XCOM, so you can't really just scream. And you can't say that it's betrayal now because there's a real XCOM game. Back then, there wasn't. It was like, there's going to be a new XCOM, and it'll be an FPS, and we were like, no! And now we've had a new XCOM, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, I've seen the gameplay videos, and I'm intrigued, and this is one that I'm interested in trying out. It just sucks that it's coming out at the same time as Saints Row and freaking
it may very well be being sent out to die. Like, against Saints Row and against Splinter Cell, that is a pretty... those are 2 very good third-person games. It is going to be a tough sell, I think, for some people.
Yeah, like, why didn't you come out at the same time the Space Hulk one, or the Hate Plus, or something?
Because it's a Tuesday, man. It's a, they only have limited things they can really release on. But Bureau might get hammered. I don't know. It could do well on PC. I know it's been pre-ordered a lot. There was some pre-ordered tier shit going on Steam for it. But the game looks interesting, and I really want to play it. Out of those... funny thing, I can't even say out of those 3 games I'm most interested in playing because I'd break the embargo on Saints Row, but it is the game I am most intrigued by that I haven't already played. There you go.
There has already been talks of an expansion to what we know the strategy game XCOM.
Yeah.
I think it was called like Enemy Unknown, and at
It's
first people thought
Enemy Within, I believe.
Enemy Within or something like that.
We
They
don't
thought
know
it
if
was
it's a sequel or a DLC.
The achievements were released. More achievements for the original game were released, and that's why people are thinking it's going to be a DLC.
Yeah,
we don't know yet,
is.
but I'm excited for it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm just hope it just makes the game better. Simple as that, really. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for release dates, honestly, over the next week. So that's what you can expect to get your little mitts on. And we've got...
Co-optional!
Yeah, thanks for that.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe. Much appreciated. Fucking stop that!
I'm trying to get used to the name. I'm trying to...
Yeah. That is the
I was
thing.
just about... Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
All Dodgers... Oh, Dodger.
Well, Dodger's not like talk for the last 45 minutes.
I know. I'm listening, but I
It's pretty hard to
haven't
get a
had
word in
anything
edgeways,
to
right?
contribute, so I've just been like, I'll make faces at the camera and nod.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I've done today.
It's hard to get a word in edgeways when it's me, Jesse, and Joe on something.
Oh, shit.
I don't mind, guys.
No. Let's ask Dodger a question, and she can answer it.
We are fucking terrible.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes?
Jesus Christ.
Do we really have to do it that way? Does that really have to be a thing?
So, do you like goji berries?
I don't know. I'd like to find out. I'll go try goji berries.
Okay, I got one. What platformer are you most excited about that's coming out this year? Are
What
there
show
some
is this, anyway?
that haven't been released yet that you're really excited about?
Oh gosh, what platformers are coming out this year?
Oh my God. I liked it better when you just stared at the camera like a psychopath.
Yeah, I think that might have been a better...
I'm just trying to help.
I know you were trying.
Just trying.
Joe needs to sleep.
I definitely know what we can do for the last 10 minutes, because we
Yes.
have
What
all
can we
seen
do?
it. We can finally do the Pacific Rim talk.
Hey!
yeah,
About time.
Alright, before we do this, I'm gonna have to load my spoiler thingy. This will be fucking spoiler city, so if you don't want to hear this, you've not seen the movie, then you have been watching the Co-optional podcast. Thank you very much for watching. Go away.
Get out!
Bye!
Go away, because we're gonna do, like, last 10 minutes or so, we're gonna do Pacific Rim talk, and it's gonna be spoiler city.
And Dodger will take lead. She will fucking talk the most.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yes.
We're starting right now?
Which
Is our
fucking
spoiler thing up?
Jaeger you love the most?
There we go.
Oh, God.
I didn't
God.
want to spoil
Oh,
it.
you want to jump right in there?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to start with that? Alright.
Fucking
Yes.
Russian Jaeger, and there are
Cherno
no
Alpha,
damn action
yes.
figures of it.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Russian Jaeger was the best Jaeger by far. It was so awesome
Yep.
looking. And
Okay.
when I went to Comic-Con, there were
way.
no figurines of it.
No, there aren't.
Blows my mind.
Look, I think that it is the most unique looking one.
Agreed,
The interior
agreed.
for the Russian mech, hands down the coolest fucking interior in suits.
Well, not to mention that the suits were obviously so kind of cobbled together in that respect.
That was dope. It was so cool.
So, like, you look at the
Most
American Jaegers, it's like, hey, look at this. You look at the Chinese one, it's like, whoa, this is kind of crazy. You look at the other one, it's like, well, we have faceplate, and we have LEDs, and little cables. It's
and we
wonderful.
are adorable married couple, and we
Weren't
kick
they
lots
a
of
Mark
ass.
one?
And I was
Oh.
like, yay!
No, they
like
do
how
kick
the
a lot of
first one-
ass. They
So,
were
was that
fucking.
like-
They were the brawler, and they had the
Yeah.
fucking
the
fists. and
hammer
shit.
fists, yeah. So, Joe,
thought it was
which
like-
was your favorite Jaeger? Come on, which one?
Who?
You.
Oh,
You're the only
Striker
Joe
Eureka.
here.
Eureka Striker.
Strike-
Oh man,
The arrogant Australian Jaeger.
The
Yes.
Australian. Now the pilot
Agreed,
is
agreed.
a fucking douchebag. Okay.
Please don't insult
guy-
Robert Kaczynski. He was playing a character. We all kind of
I
love him.
love Robert Kaczynski. Robert Kaczynski.
Okay, I understand the love for him. I'm just saying
We
you
like him as a
have to
person. He used to
understand
watch
it's
our
the
WoW
character.
videos.
and his father was awesome, but the actual mech Striker Eureka, it has the most kills, confirmed kills of something like 11 or 14
It's 'cause
or
it's
something
OP.
like that. You know, I think actually
Totally
the
OP.
Russian one was a Mark 1 or Mark 2.
Mark 1.
That's what I was
It's a
trying to
Mark
say.
Model.
So,
It was really weird because-
should have had way more confirmed kills because they had all this badass backstory that they were in the Siberian fucking.
They defended like the Siberian Wall basically, and they did all sorts of. And then with the last,
were mostly defense and assists. I
yeah,
don't think
for the
that
most.
it, like,
They're they're also slow as hell, which didn't really help. So
Yeah.
it's like I
Yeah.
guess fucking guys could just run away. It's like, oh well, shit, we
But
can't
I-
do much
Yeah.
now.
So,
I think the mech that got the most fucked over was the Chinese mech.
Oh
Like,
Jesus, the
literally,
Chinese mech got screwed.
They got screwed, dude.
and here's
And
what
what's
I don't
funny?
get. Sorry, go on.
No, I want you to talk. Yeah.
I was gonna say, okay, so every time they finally busted out a sword, it was like did so much damage. Meanwhile, there's the Chinese.
Oh my God, no. That's what I.
There's
Why
the
did you do
Chinese
that in the
Jaeger
first
has
place,
Three
Kevin?
blades on it, 3 damn blades, and it
Yeah.
gets knocked down like immediately. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
so angry. That made
Hey.
no sense.
All right. Can I want to make an argument towards that scene because I think that scene is the most controversial scene, and I want to make an argument in favor of it. As much as I hate the fact that Cherno Alpha got absolutely fucked, because it was clearly my favorite Jaeger, I would argue that
No,
that scene.
got double teamed. We're talking about the Chinese one.
Yeah. The Chinese one got fucked over as well, which kind of sucked because it was like the most interesting Jaeger in the sense that there was 3 pilots, it had like 3 arms, it was weird in the way that it moved, which
They
was
didn't
really
get
cool.
nearly enough focus.
No,
the side pilots
no.
should have gotten
And what's
so much
funny
more
is the
Very
movie
clearly
did
not.
really well in China. In fact, it blew away some other big budget movie.
It blew away every big budget movie. It blew away the launch of Harry Potter over there. Like it's the biggest launch over there ever, which is awesome.
their mech
Anyway,
gets totally screwed.
anyway. Right,
Okay,
one.
TB, go.
All right, go. Law reason why the swords aren't used. You're supposed to use blunt force trauma to kill a kaiju because the blood's fucking poisonous and kills people. So if you kind of stab them and slice them to pieces, then it kills people in the city en masse, which is apparently not good. But unfortunately, they kind of screwed that part of the law over because they said, oh, we could just clean it up with chemicals. Like, oh, right. Well, why don't you just stab them in the first place then? So that was kind of weird. But secondly, the thing about that scene and why I think that it's really important that that scene actually happened is because up until that point, it made no fucking sense that these massive armored killing machines were actually legitimately losing. Like, they didn't present it as being a legit threat. The only reason why Gypsy Danger went down in the fucking first 30 minutes was because, 1, luck, and 2, they disobeyed orders and fucked up, right, in a major way. So Gypsy Danger goes down, and they still, with 1 guy and 1 arm, kill the fucking kaiju regardless, right? So you're like, oh, well, kaiju aren't really that big a threat. So when you say, oh, there's 2 Category 4 kaiju here, we're going to deploy what we got. These are the strongest Jaegers we got left. Everything else fucking died. Still up to that point, you're thinking, how the fuck did everything else die? You had all these guys. Look how badass Striker Eureka is. And then these 2 guys come out and fucking shred within 5 minutes the 2 strongest, like, older Jaegers that they've got.
Right.
Like that. Crimson Typhoon's this Mach 4 Jaeger that's supposed to be amazing and just gets fucked up by something they don't see coming. And that one scene makes it abundantly clear just how knife-edged the whole thing was and just how not invincible these gigantic robots were. And I think establishing the fact that those robots were not invincible and actually super vulnerable was really important to setting the mood of the film. Because otherwise it's like, oh, they have giant robots, everything's gonna be fine.
Well, I think they could have done a better jaub of getting across the idea that the scientists mind melded with the kaiju. So everything that the scientists knew about the fucking Jaegers, their weaknesses, the pilots inside, their operation, came over to the kaiju side. So I like to think that the reason why those 2 badass fucking Jaegers got
Was
fucked
so
so
good is
easily is because the
idiot
kaiju
scientist
knew.
made it that way?
Bam! Right there, at the fucking Chinese head, rip the head off, pilot's gone.
Yeah,
Now,
actually,
Right.
the fact that...
EMP blast,
Yeah,
striking
that's
you
actually a good
either.
point.
God.
How the because Chono Alpha's fucking con pod is actually in the chest, right? They designed it deliberately because the kaiju before that thought, oh, that's where the head is. We're going to attack the head. It's like, lol, no, it's just a nuclear reactor. Fuck you. But in this case, the kaiju seem to know exactly where the Russians were because he just like shoved his hand in there and crushed them under the fucking sea, which was grim as shit, I might add. It's like these guys are they're drowning, then they explode. Ouch! God damn it!
But that was the implication, TB, that that the kaijus knew that, and I felt throughout the entire movie, like you said, that the kaijus were fucking bigger, stronger. There were more of them, and it always felt as if, how the fuck are they gonna take these on? Because they were almost always outnumbered.
We could build this big wall, and everything will be totally fine. That's the unions, man. It's the unions. They lobbied Congress to say, guys, we need construction jobs really bad. So fuck the Jaeger program. Let's build this big fucking wall so we can get our guys back to work, see?
Keep
That's
them
all the
illegal kaijus out of my country.
This giant fucking fence with checkpoints. Like, sorry, I'm going to need to see your papers.
But no, they tore through that. That was the stupidest idea in the world.
We're gonna build this big wall. It's like suddenly, instantly, bang, dead.
Like he could have. Any one of those kaijus was large enough to just simply crawl over it. He didn't even have to walk through it like it was paper. He could just crawl over it.
You know, it's also entirely realistic that the Australian government was so incompetent that they decided to retire the most powerful Jaeger in the world. Just like, the wall will be fine. That'll be all right. It's like, you have a $100 billion robot. It's sitting right there. Fucking use it. What's wrong with you?
And it saved their ass. They're like, we're lucky this Jaeger showed up and saved our ass last minute. All right, get rid of it.
It's lucky the only Mach 5 Jaeger in the world just happens to be stationed in our country. God, we were about to retire that thing.
But Dodger, what did you think of that? The Miko? What's her name? Mako. It's
Mako, right?
What'd you think of that character? You think that she was well developed?
I liked her more after we got her backstory. That might sound kind of messed up, but like the little girl that played her was amazing. I thought that I loved that, like, I just loved the juxtaposition of seeing like child her and then seeing adult her relive it, because as a child, the only thing she could do was cry. And then as an adult, she like did whatever she could to fight, even if it was like lost in this memory, and
even if it was almost blowing up the Shatter Dome because she was so pissed off about it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh damn, she's got like a lot going on in there. You know, I think that was like her biggest development moment, and I really, really liked that. I also loved that even though there was obviously like a kind of romantic thing there, in that storyline, that they never like made out or anything like that. It was just
the cool thing about the whole drifting thing is there's no fucking need. Like, if the two pilots had feelings for each other, they fucking know that anyway. So it's like, I like you. It's like, I fucking know. I'm inside your head. Shut up. You know. I do like the fact that it wasn't a cliche, you know, a lot of the ending was kind of cliched, you know, that the fairly standard, you know, the old gunslinger saves the day by sacrificing itself kind of thing, the, oh, is he alive, is he dead moment at the end, which was very much a case of, oh yeah, we saw that coming a mile away, that doubt just wasn't there, it was going to happen. But at least the ending wasn't cliched in the sense that you got the, you know, some stupid kiss at the end between the two.
I hated the mind melding. I thought it was so unnecessary. It was just a plot device in order to show her backstory. And it would have been so much stronger. She would have been a so much stronger character if everybody had their own pilots, because they implied, and you didn't really get to see it on screen very much, except for in her training sessions where she was beating ass in martial arts, is that she was the better pilot, even better than the Charlie dude, and she was the one doing the major work when it came down to it. She got out the sword, she like was doing tactics, and then even
she bothered to read the manual. That's probably why.
It's like, it's okay, Mako. You did it. You know, calm down, and everything's
fine. There was a little too much.
That was
an
imply that she was the one doing all the work and fucking, you know, pulling his weight around. Now, if there was separate mechs, you would see this fucking Mako mech just go crazy, like bah, 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 like kaiju after kaiju with their sword and shit, and saving Charlie's ass. And
I would have liked to see that. Like, there wasn't actually, I don't think there was a single point in the movie where she wasn't being carried by the other pilot. Like, there was obviously the whole we're fighting together thing, but never was they, oh shit, you know, which is really crazy because they set it up in the backstory to work that way, because he's got his own trauma. The whole fact that his brother was ripped out of the con pod and killed while he was fucking linked to him, he's not played upon that much. You know, he's the reluctant hero for about 5 minutes until he gets back in the compound and instantly he's like, oh, fuck that, my brother's dead, but it's all right. I've got a new pilot. We'll be fine. Let's go kill some kaiju. I would have liked to see weakness from him, and we didn't get that.
I agree with that. I mean, I understand that they wanted to establish that he was the seasoned pilot who knew how to filter. And that way, you know, we got to see her as the pilot that never got to be a pilot until now, and him as the seasoned pilot. But I totally agree with you. I wish that we saw more like trauma from him as well.
Yeah, because he had a lot of it.
He had a lot of it inside of a Jaeger. He's back in a Jaeger.
And there's plenty of veterans anyway. You know, not only were there, you know, there's the arrogant guy, but there's the veteran who's the other pilot of Strike Eureka. And then you've got Marshall Stack of Pentecost, who's also a veteran. You could have very easily played that off there if you just wanted the seasoned veteran. And we could have had a little bit more instability from the other guy, which I think would have actually worked a lot better and made the dynamic a little bit more interesting. You know, let's be honest, we're like 2 female characters in the entire movie, and one didn't get to speak that much. Although she did seem to be the boss of that relationship. I'll give them all the fucking credit. She was awesome.
Yeah.
She is kind of fantastic.
I think that also the whole like, oh, I'm this hot shot and I hate you. You suck. That was so.
That was
forced.
pretty
like,
cliched
there's like
as
fucking
fuck.
4 Jaegers left out of like 31.
And you're gonna
Jaegers
act that way?
We're destroyed, and you're gonna fucking give that guy shit, like the guy that's got your back.
It's like Gratz. You know, you were the one lucky enough to get the Mach 5 badass OP Jaeger. You know, that's
right?
great.
And you've got fucking. You want to do a fucking pissing contest, a dick measuring contest. This isn't Robot Jocks, where like they're literally fighting for their own countries over territories, like a proxy war.
Yeah.
They're on the same fucking team.
Yeah.
I think that was a little forced, especially when they had a lot of interaction between the Striker crew and the Gypsy crew, and then didn't really touch any interaction at all with Cherno and Crimson. It's like, well, really? You're not going to focus a little bit more on them? I get that the Australian crew, the American crew are most relatable, but I think that at that point, when you actually have a really interesting setting, where you're Pan-Pacific, so you're set around Hong Kong, which is a little bit unusual. This is not America, you know, it's not fighting in America. It's fighting around that Pacific region, which is a little bit out of the ordinary, and you've got kind of a very cosmopolitan cast with a lot of different races in there, and then you decide the best focus is on that. Yeah, that's probably, I don't know, it's... But, I mean, you know, we are kind of... We are definitely going into it in the sense of, I think the only reason that I talk so much about that is because I think it was the best movie I've seen in fucking years, because it was the coolest blockbuster, and that kind of movie where someone just went apeshit with really cool effects and created this really awesome vision and put it on screen and said, experience this, because you don't get to do that often.
Yeah,
you know?
it was definitely a passion project from Del Toro, and I was so glad and thankful that he was able to push this through, because you don't see these kinds of things often.
No, you don't.
I mean, Godzilla's coming up, but it wasn't quite like, you know, Jaegers fighting.
No. You don't get those movies. What I really didn't get when it was announced, like, oh, it's just like every other. It's like, what? Which movie allows this to happen? Which one? You want to name one? Because, like, oh, well, the animes. Like, I don't give a shit about the animes. I want to see full-on CG with a budget of more than $5. I want to see that. And I want to see less emo children piloting fucking derpy little skinny mecha. I want to see something a bit heavier. You know, there's nothing like fucking Cherno in stuff like that. It's just badass bruiser of a mech. Which, I grew up on BattleTech. I believe in that, you know? That's Jesse, what I like to see.
Jesse, why are you so quiet, dude?
I was just waiting to talk.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
We've just marginalized them. What do you reckon?
What are your feelings?
You're big on story, man. I wanna hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, story-wise, there's a lot of loose ends. Like there were some things, like for example, how is the blood poisonous when Ron Perlman is literally inside of them?
That's what I wondered.
It's annoying because like there's been a lot of changes in the lore prior to that. Like the if you read the graphic novel, they're very, very clear that, you know, Tales from Year Zero, that the fucking kaiju blue is a big deal, and then they just completely bypass that. I
didn't hear it was poisonous at all. In the
movie. It was supposed to like be so toxic it fucking wiped cities out.
Yeah, another thing that was really that I mean. Overall, I loved the movie. I thought it was great. Seeing it IMAX 3D was fantastic. But what I will say is that having seen almost all of us here right now saw their like Bible of the actual story, and seeing all the backstory and all the things they developed
We
that
saw
were just
a lot
not in the
behind the
movie
scenes.
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
such a disappointment because there was a world that they created that no one ever saw. And
Yeah.
knowing
Yeah.
that it exists and that they created it, but no one will ever get to see that is really disappointing for me. And so I wanted that more than anything because there is this whole one of the things that they didn't really hint, I guess they hinted on it, but that there are literally religious cults that worship the kaiju. And so, there's a whole world of opportunity.
So as a result,
there
there was
for story.
a lot of instability surrounding that. Yeah, I can
Oh yeah,
kinda see
the
that.
world itself, they didn't even explore what was going on in the world. They explored one tiny fraction of it, which was just man, I wish so much. I
The
don't
problem
know.
is
if
it's a
we'll ever get
movie. You
sequel.
can't do that much. I
Yeah.
would like to see a huge ass series of books on the subject that would have explored all of that stuff.
Expanded universe would be great. I'd read that in a heartbeat.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd
yeah,
like to
for
see
sure.
a prequel. What happened
Yeah.
during the Mark 1 days when Idris was a fucking badass? Because he was he was great in this movie, right?
Yeah, I
right,
would've
Jesse?
Yeah.
I'd definitely like to see more of that.
Fucking
I mean,
great.
I think there's a lot of things in it that I loved. I particularly, and I don't know if this is an homage or direct ripoff, but that ending was basically the ending of Independence Day, and I loved every moment of it. It was a hello,
Sure.
boys, right into the thing, set off nuke. I was like,
Yeah.
it's like Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum all over again.
There were
I was
definitely
so
a few of
excited.
those. Yeah.
I was like,
And
yeah, okay.
The movie definitely had its faults, but I enjoyed myself so much, and like TB, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I'm really happy this came out. And in fact, it
was-
inspired me to start working on my own board game version where it combines, kaiju and robots and fighting on a board game, because
Sweet.
I don't think there's a board game out there like that. So
Not
if
one
you
that
know
takes
how
it
to make
seriously, a
board
lot of
game
them are very
maps,
comedic.
or if you're a board game designer, email me. I need some help on it.
With all that said, the unsung heroes of this movie for me, and I loved every scene they were in, was the two scientists.
Good comic
Oh my
relief.
god.
Charlie Day and
They were quite over the top,
Just-
though, wouldn't you say, Jesse?
see
No, but I'm
here's
saying they were the perfect, aside from the main story, is it's you have these two incredible, they're the people responsible for saving the world, are these two scientists.
Then why
and they're
send them
insane.
out by himself to the black market Chinese?
That's
black
what I'm saying.
market?
They were pretty
Because they were
desperate
like,
at the
You
time,
fucking
let's be
protection
honest.
or soldiers.
But no, he was like, look, you're doing this undercover, and you're the only one I'm going to send. Deal with it, because the world's going to end. So you need. I was like,
Yeah.
the whole premise of that, I was like, it's so silly yet works. I love it. Keep going. I was like, it's all them
Yes,
together.
Dodger.
We'll go in
No,
together.
keep
We'll be
going, Jesse.
frenzies. We'll be frenzies inside the brains of the kaiju. I was like, I love you guys so much. It's wonderful.
I think my biggest issue with the movie was that you could tell that they were all instructed to act in a campy way. Like they weren't supposed to act honestly. But not all of them quite hit the mark. I don't
Okay.
think when I was watching it, I felt like some of them they didn't go far enough or they needed to pull it back. I don't know.
Interesting. You thought they did that on purpose.
I think they must have, because we've seen some of these people in other things. They all the main guy. Pretty much every time he talked, I was like, oh god, because
I
it seemed.
actually did have that, and I thought it was maybe just because I watched 4 seasons of Sons of Anarchy that I just couldn't deal with it. But maybe there was an element of that.
I think that it was meant to have kind of a cheesy old mech or monster movie feel to the
Anime,
acting.
manga,
Yeah,
anime.
That's what I
a little
thought
bit
it
of
was.
that.
There you go.
Was a bit
But
of that.
I think that not
That's a
Gundam.
everybody
Yeah.
hit it. Not everybody was willing to commit to being that silly with it, and so some of the acting styles clashed.
I don't know
a bit.
that it's
That's how I felt.
necessarily silly is the right word, but I know what you're talking. Like they're all overdoing their performance
Yeah.
in order to hit that
Like you
special
would find in an anime or a manga. I think that there are so many throwbacks.
overreaction. Yeah.
Yeah,
To
and I
the
think
Japanese culture and the Japanese media.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately the person who didn't quite hit it for me was the main guy.
Charlie,
And-
I forget his name.
And
Yeah.
but the thing is, I felt like I think you're right. Like the main character was the one who was sort of I felt like he was trying to be that grounding totem. He was the guy everyone around was gonna be whacking. He was gonna be I gotta do this shit. And I like, because everyone else to me seemed like an anime trope.
Yeah.
Like everyone else, like of course there's gonna be the guy who's like, I don't like you, but goddamn I respect you. Like that guy.
Yeah.
And then there's, the old grizzled guy who's like, I've seen some shit. And then there's the commander who's like, I've seen even more shit.
If I get in that Jaeger one more time, I'm fucking dead, but I'm not getting it.
And I'm gonna do it anyway. And it's like, well, of course he's gonna die. That's what makes this so great. Like everything about that. They have every anime trope there. There's the girl who has this insecurity, but it's like a really fucked up, like, oh my God, some shit did happen to you, girl.
So many cliches, though.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's what I loved about it. The one thing I loved everything about this movie. The one thing I hated, and this drove me crazy. Every fight scene was at night. It drove me nuts.
In the rain.
And the one time that I saw them fly out during the day, I was like, oh shit, the final battle's gonna be a day fight scene. It was underwater.
You're wrong.
Like, no.
You're wrong, by the way. That's not true. There was the Striker Eureka scene was in the day.
Oh, that was so quick. Oh,
it was pretty quick. I'll give you credit for that. Yeah. The Striker Eureka fight was in the day.
Fuck 3D, okay? Because the rain was so fucking in my face.
Yeah, I went to see it. I went to see it in 2D because you said that. I thought that's gonna bother me too much.
Thank God. Bless your heart, TB. Did y'all see it in 3D, Dodger and Jesse?
I saw it IMAX 3D. That was mind blowing. Your seats were just like the entire time. And you're just like, oh shit! It was so good. It was so good. IMAX changes everything. Fact.
Did you see it in 3D, Dodger?
No, because I saw your tweets about it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
You
God.
saw it ahead of time, and you were like the 3D, like,
it's not good.
Okay,
I'm like, okay.
It was so
2D,
dark because what happens in 3D is things get darker. So if everything's in the night while fucking rain is in your face, it's so hard to
I can imagine it be blurry and distracting. I mean, a lot of the stuff was like very much the Hong Kong stuff had so much neon and color in it that it just like blew my mind. That was the best thing. All of the Hong Kong stuff was just like, there's so many colors, and this is amazing, and that guy just hit him with a boat, and that was...
I also saw it in these D-box seats.
You watched it in D-box?
Like,
oh my.
That is such a fucking stupid gimmick, but if there's one movie that you go out and see in those seats, it has to be the fucking giant robot movie.
Yeah, that would make sense, because like as the fucking thing was walking, it would...
it worked, DB. It was awesome. That's the only time I would recommend it, because I don't want to be doing this for 2.5 hours.
I'd like to also like mention Ramen Djawadi's soundtrack alongside, I believe, Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine for the main theme. Oh god, the best fucking blood-pumping main theme for anything ever. Like that little leitmotif that comes on every time something amazing's about to happen. You're like... They did one piece of music specifically for the bit where he's dragging the boat. Yeah? Specifically. It's like a 37-second piece of music. I'm like... I think it was called No Pulse, actually. I think it was No Pulse where they did that. And it was just... That entire piece of music was written solely to make that boat scene even better.
Can I say something that I think is really kind of funny? The 2 times we've actively talked about movies on this show.
Yeah.
Was this... and Dread. And both those movies, people were like, meh. Like when there was no audience.
They didn't go out and see them.
Dread is
infuriates me because
Pacific Rim's done pretty well. Like thanks to the international market, it's not been a failure. The US fucked up big style on this one.
That's what I'm saying. And both those movies, like the ones that we've really, really loved, are the ones where it's like most people didn't really see those. And it's like,
in the US.
In the US, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Everyone else likes fun, apparently. The US don't. So
Dread was so good. A person
amazing.
harmonica'd. Their body harmonica'd in Dread. Like it's wonderful. What an amazing movie. Amazing.
Yeah, I review both. Don't review movies very often, but I had to get out people to support those 2 movies, and I'm sad to see that it didn't get some of the same success that stupid shit got, like World War Z or something like that. I was like,
anyway, final thoughts on Pacific Rim, because we are definitely out of time. So let's wrap it up. Jesse, final thoughts.
Loved it. Fantastic. Yep. It's like a perfect. If you're into video games and you're just a nerd,
it is a video game movie. Basically.
It is a perfect video game movie that isn't a video game. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yep, Dodger.
I enjoyed it. It was everything that I wanted it to be. I just wanted the acting to be a little bit tighter, but it's a beautiful movie and definitely an amazing homage to like robot movies and monster movies alike. So
If you
Yep.
want to see
Great.
the good acting version of Pacific Rim, you should watch our video.
You should check ours out.
No, you shouldn't. It's terrible.
I'm so jealous. That was awesome. Y'all guys
Oh,
had
man.
fun.
Yeah.
Joe, final thoughts?
Cheesy, cliche, over the top, so many stereotypes, but so much fun.
Right.
Giant robots beating the shit out of kaiju. I don't need to say anymore, okay?
No,
If that doesn't make you excited, this movie's not for you.
No, it's yeah. I don't think there's any real question about that. My final thoughts, like that movie made me feel like a kid again, and there's not really been a movie since that's done that, and it's probably the best action movie that I've had the pleasure to watch in years, you know, and it left a real impression on me, and it was one of these only movies where I just strive to absorb and just digest everything kind of ancillary to the side of it. Like, I go and read the wiki, I read this, it's like, hey, let's read the novelization, hey, let's buy the art book so I can find
can't
out
you
more
wait for the
about this.
DVD commentary? I'm really looking
Oh,
forward
I
to that
can't
shit.
wait for the Blu-ray. I cannot wait for the Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
So yeah, that's gonna be great. So yeah, I really hope that the second one does come out, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I also hope that they make a decent fucking video game, because goddamn, the existing one isn't. Oh, it's diabolical. Anyway, that's pretty much us done for the Corruptional Podcast. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like you to go check out our channels. That sounds good. So, Dodger, what are you doing this week? What's going to happen on the channel?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do gaming news. I do a daily vlog on youtube.com/dexterity bonus. I'm going to be doing a Kick-Ass movie review next week.
Okay.
So before that, I'm going to be doing, talking about the comic books, the first and the
Sure.
second, because
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of them. So I figured that's a good lead up.
Yep.
And then, I don't know if Jesse and I are going to get Dead Space to work, but I got Borderlands 2
Maybe.
on Wednesday. So we'll see. Lol.
Indeed. Jesse?
Same about Dead Space. Screw you, EA. Also, a lot of like fun little side videos happening this week. Crendor and I are gonna finish up the Cube World Alpha, because that's an alpha and there's not really much to do in it.
No.
And then tomorrow, brace your balls for a really awful trailer to Saints Row 4 featuring
Oh my.
myself and Crendor. It'll be great. And really, I'll probably end up playing more Dragon Commander. I may do videos on it just because I play it so much. Oh, I love it. And there's got to be something major happening. I don't really know. Oh, Kick-Ass. Watch Crendor and I dress up as our fake characters, because it's freaking hilarious.
I
And-
imagine that'll be incredible.
We and also, if you enjoy selling out, you should check out my channel page, because it is hilarious.
Good to know.
That's all I'm gonna
Very
say.
good to know. Joe, what's coming?
Well, let's see. I got the television in the background because I had to move all my equipment over here. I had an HD capture device shit out on me, but I still was able to get out the video. It's a very funny Let's Play. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
Ah, yes.
Other Joe is back. It is so hilarious, guys. There's so many glitches and things that happen. I promise you, if you don't laugh, you're not human. It's one of the better ones I do. And I'm not very good at Let's Plays. Jesse's are fucking amazing, I must say.
Oh,
But,
thank you.
This one is good. It's pretty good. So check that out. I will also working on Saints Row 4 because it's a review and I want to do some parodies for it. It probably won't be out right away after the embargo lifts, but I'm gonna do my best to get it out as soon as possible. Hopefully by the end of the week. If not, it's gonna push into the weekend. And then one last thing, I'll probably do another Kick-Ass 2 video to support that. I mean, it's just like Dread, just like Pacific Rim. I have this very, very bad feeling that it's not gonna do well. The first one made, I think, about 100 million total. People didn't go out and see it, but I really like Jim Carrey. I like Hit Girl the most. She fucking kicks ass. And so I hope people go out and see this. I'll probably do... I filmed two things.
I like the original
filmed me
movie. No,
running around. Yeah, the
so.
original movie is fucking awesome.
I loved it.
Like, that's none of your business. Yes, it is. That scene is so awesome. I filmed myself running around the neighborhood as Kick-Ass and some cops, like... they're not in the video, but I see, you could see them and I talk about them. So I'll probably do another Kick-Ass video, either preview or review, and throw that in there.
Cool.
So yeah.
Can I say something really
You
quick?
forgot your fucking live stream.
Secret of
didn't you?
Mana?
I know. Chat got. I'm getting phone calls now from people who are like, "Secret of my live stream, dummy." Friday at 5 p.m. PST. Probably get there around 4 if I was you. We are doing our live stream on twitch.tv/Shabuzi. You should be there. It's going to go until we're done with the game.
Cool.
Please come watch. It'll be fun. There. Said it, chat.
Yep.
Get off my ass.
Angry
going
Joe, AngryJoeShow.com, Angry Joe YouTube, Angry Joe.
Yes. Anyway, stuff's going on my channel this week. Saints Row video, probably going to redo it because I don't think it's that good, but I will hopefully have the video out by embargo date. Also looking at Shadow Warrior, embargo lifts on that tomorrow. Don't know when the video's coming for that. Not going to promise it. ETAs are a bad idea, especially with YouTube being completely shitty right now. So it's not really... It's like, when will it process? Who fucking knows? Let's roll the dice on that one. Bunch of other stuff. The usual, I am going away for like 4 or 5 days. I think it's Saturday I'm going on the 17th, and yeah, as a direct result, there probably won't be videos for a few days. I should mention that I'm fighting Angry Joe tomorrow, I believe, in MechWarrior Online, if I recall correctly. Is it tomorrow or Thursday? It's one of the two.
Thursday. It's
Oh,
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, it's Thursday.
Fucking
15th.
12 on 12, bitches.
Yep, 12 on 12 mode, MechWarrior Online. I'm going to put his clan ass in the fucking ground. It's going to be great. I hope you like PPCs, bitch. It's going to be wonderful.
God.
All the PPCs. And I'd
I
like to...
whooped your ass in tactics. I'm gonna easily.
that was
ass
luck.
in
You
fucking-
got a nice dice roll on that one. There's no dice rolls in this game. Let's see how this one goes for you. And I would also like to remind people I do have a lore episode for Deus Ex over on youtube.com/lore. That's Deus Ex Human Revolution lore in a minute. I did that one, so by all means go and watch that. Dodgy, did you do the fast facts for that one?
I think so.
Yes. So Dodgy did the fast fact.
My God.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, that's a thing. And I think that's probably it.
Are we done?
Frankly. I think we're done, frankly.
Okay.
Have a good vacation.
I'm
Thanks
gonna
for
go to
watching,
sleep.
Yeah, but before we go,
I'm sorry.
one
if I
last
was too
thing.
tired.
I'd like to shout out to all the people that subscribed today. I have the list right here. Apologies if you're missing on this list. It might be incomplete. Terrafin, Norin, Shift Shaper Cat, Friend of Dean, Heretics, S Diablo 123, Bullet Messiah, King Blumb, Sitanomi, what the fuck is that? Sanarox, X Full Boost, Was What, Unholy Toast 92, Captain Lunafish, Joftrox, Calnet 101, Arderel, Crash and Fall, Carvenen, Jamkj, Night Charm, Lelies, Murray Swee, Nightheart 00.
This was all today.
This was all today, yes. And
God
the dope.
damn, man, how
But
much
wait,
money
there's
you
more.
making?
Anakin
$5?
Mike, Brian Xavier, Nacho Man, Quoquop, Ashley
Man.
Dyer, Mephisto, Twisted Spectre, Torskin87, Blogger Armor, Big Fudge 1, Sir John C, Sodi, Rogflash, Rabbit773, 1Aya, Fiat, Teapotted, Masaki Moya, well, that's not even a real name, Voyanavirus, Pulling a Danny, Cepheus, Nenarin, Verlos, Nzo, Verbalocity, The Avenger 2378, Kyron McLeod, Peter 3 Essie, Fozagrim, Kelsey Hennian. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Lugat 316, Grimnar, T-Bear45, Raznaki, Nisishikamon, Coltane Crows, Undrak, Black Caesar, Toggle When Ready, DN Anime, Vezra AFK, Retropower, Vacon, Kane Angel Fire, My Republic, Psychotic Blast. That's it. And Matt the Busted Couch, goodbye. We've been co-optional. We're gone.